Yeah.
Hello, everyone. This is the road trip. Your favourite road trip. I don't know why I'm saying all this because there's literally no one watching right now. But sorry, just people will. So Gary will watch the replay. Hi, Gary. How you doing?
Hi,
But
Gary.
more importantly than anyone right now is Mr. Sam Greenwood. How you doing, sir?
Good afternoon, Tom. My favourite degenerate. How are you doing this afternoon?
We all have degenerate moment here, there, and everywhere. But in all seriousness, I'm fantastic. Football aside, I am fantastic. Not much of a. I'm guessing from our chat backstage, you didn't happen to watch Bristol City versus Leeds United. You were the real winner of the weekend.
0-0 doesn't sound too good. I haven't seen any highlights or any info, but I saw the result.
There ain't any. There ain't any, Sam. There's not. Bristol City had no shots on target. Leeds had one cleared off the line, and that's basically the review of the match.
What did Bristol City park the bus or something then, or?
They parked the bus enough, but their actual tactic was obviously they're going to try and catch us on the break. And any time they got close to doing that, we took a tactical yellow card because. Well, obviously, Firpo was banned from the yellow card he got on Wednesday. But now Bogle's banned because of the yellow card he got today. So our favourite win-backs.
No favourite win-backs. Oh, dear.
No favourite win-back tandem. But so in all seriousness...
Was a game with a lot of stoppages then with Leeds, with all the tactical free kicks?
Well, I'll put it another way. First half was so bad, we got 3 minutes of stoppage time. The second half was so bad, we got 3 minutes of stoppage time. Despite all the subs being used.
That's not bad at all, really.
I mean, I was thrilled because it'd be disingenuous of me to sit here and go, I want 19 minutes of stoppage time so we can score. Because we'd still be sitting here watching Leeds not score.
Imagine if we was back in. Imagine if we had these new rules they're following now, these FIFA-based rules now, where you're getting more realistic, stoppage time added on, basically.
Yeah.
Imagine if we had this back in the Sir Alex Ferguson era. We'd basically have an extra half of football. We'd have an extra 45 minutes of stoppage time to make sure they score.
No, you're right. I'm just working out because based on what you've stipulated there, basically the 1999 Champions League final would still be going.
Yeah, it would still be going. Yeah, that's right. Bloody hell.
If they hadn't scored the second. We have our first person in the chat. Oh, look who it is. Just the last person I wanted to see. Slagantonio, Herintonio Writings. Or something like this. I've just thought that off my head.
Good afternoon.
But no, in all seriousness, how you doing, Stefan? How you doing?
He's our slag in general in the chat. He makes sure the slags are in place. Good to see you, Stefan. Yeah, I'm watching so I've got the Brighton Wolves game on in the background because I just can't stand watching Man City. They're just so horrible to watch, and they always get everything go their way. Fucking stroke of luck of deflected goals or referee penalties they just get everything going their way.
I'm not watching it because I don't like upsetting you, Sam, but I'm going to upset you because there's been a goal at the Etihad.
God,
have a guess who scored it.
Is it the machine who hasn't scored in a couple of games now? Is it Haaland?
The man who has not scored since he told Arteta to be humble has scored.
Of course he has. Anyway, that's why I didn't bother watching that game. Southampton are shit, and they're at the Etihad, so they got about as much chance as a snowball in the Saharan desert. So not bothering watching that game. So I'm watching Brighton Wolves. Probably be a bit more action. Yep,
it'll probably be a bit more, a bit less one-sided.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure.
I mean, obviously, I may have picked Wolves in the upset pick challenge. Because again, they're the bottom team; they've not won yet. They've got to win at some point.
Yeah, that's actually a good pick because law of averages and all that. At some point they've got to win a game.
They've got to win at some point. Even if they get a draw, I honestly thought I'd got the draw last week at the Etihad.
Yeah, I remember your messages. Like, oh yes, no.
I thought I had it. I thought I had the 10 points or whatever I'd have got from it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the current standings. Ray doesn't make them public, to my knowledge. I mean, I'm sure he does mention it on his show, but I'm not staying up till 4 a.m. to find out where I stand in a friendly pick challenge on YouTube. So, it's what it is.
Yeah, we'll get him to send it on a message soon, so we see what the standings are. But yeah, but that just goes to show you shouldn't be sending premature celebratory messages because you always bite you in the arse. I mean, this is what I've been pulling Gary up for so many times because he always has a go at Spurs. He's like, oh, look at they're losing when they're like 2-0 down. Oh, they're losing. Yeah, bloody Spurs. And I said, Gary, you've jinxed it as always. And they always come back and fucking win or get a draw.
Goal. I believe it's former Bayern Munich player Conor Jellings. I need to double check this because his name's familiar. Has scored for Transmere Rovers. They are 1-0 up.
Wow, that's a non-binary result that we need to keep track of.
Yeah. I don't know if I actually have this right.
Transmere Rovers. Well, this, as we know, the road trip is the unofficial Transmere Rovers official supporters society.
I mean, we were thrilled when the news came through over I believe at the start of the week and we all know ASAP Rocky. We're all down with the kids. We're all crunk. We all know our music. Don't ask me to name any of it though, because I know all the hits, all the big ones. My favourite part of it is when they interviewed former FA chairman, who is currently the chairman of Transmere. And they asked it, and he's going, we've been in contact with ASAP Rocky. Just the fact that those words even left his mouth was funny. Talking like he just knows him off the street, down the hood.
But ASAP Rocky, man. Yeah, I don't think I've seen or heard much of his music, to be honest. But yeah, I know he is. Any
music. I only know he is because he tried to buy Transmere.
Well, he's got good taste. Let's put it that way. He's got good taste.
It creates a theory in my mind. He watches the road trip. Because why would it enter your mind to buy Transmere Rovers?
That's what I'm saying. He must be a huge road trip fan. That's it. He's got the idea from watching us, obviously.
I mean, admittedly, it might come a bit unstuck for him when he tries to install Pol Pot as the first club manager.
That is true. That was I was thinking he might have been director of football, but yeah, there's talk of him maybe have been manager if ASAP Rocky was going to buy Transmere.
I want a big name. Why can't I have Pol Pot? And someone's going to sit there and go, one of his advisors is going to go, he's 200 years old and he's dead. I don't know how old he'd be. It's not the point.
ASAP Rocky will be like, what? I heard he's great. What's this? I can't have him.
I heard he's got big numbers.
He's got great numbers. He's really good at what he does.
I want to say hello to Brownie.
Yeah, big up Brownie. Hope you're doing well. What's the time over there in Sydney? What, like, it's about midnight or something, isn't it, in Sydney? So I suppose you're not too bad. I do have
a confession on the Facebook. On Wednesday, not Wednesday, I can't remember what day it was, but I sat there thinking, I've not checked my message requests for about a year. And I did. And then I was basically like, oh, fuck, this is embarrassing. It was like, I had Gary, Russ Morgan. Hello, Russ Morgan. Just come, Gary, Russ Morgan, Brownie. Basically, all the people I fucking know from this are like, they've tried friend request. But I didn't get notifications. I didn't check the notifications. The one time yours came up, I went, I actually know Sam Greenwood, because usually the notifications I get are basically like Lauren Hemp. And I'm like, I'm not being friend requested by Manchester City women's player Lauren Hemp. Like, this is obviously some kind of a scam.
Yeah. It's always someone from Africa who really wants to get to know you, you know. No, thank you.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to get to know them to the point that I wasn't even checking it. But still, how you all doing? Speaking of Devil, Russ Morgan is here. It is now the Tom and
we have the chairman of the Slough Dogging Society with us, and that is very, very important. Thank you, Russ, for taking part.
That's funny. Let me double check this, because I don't like being accused of things that are not actually true. Because wait a minute, that's strange. That says Russ Morgan, I believe. That says Russ Morgan. Russ Morgan. So you're lying, Russ. You're lying. You're deluding yourself.
Playing victim as always. Playing victim as always.
I'm actually very tempted to undo that, to spy him. That's not true. I'd never do that. Never do that.
Playing victim as always, just as he does.
Great.
In the
It's great to have you, Russ. In all seriousness, but sometimes it's greater more than others. Obviously, how you doing? Have you got your facts ready, Russ? You got your because obviously
has he got his PGMOL stuff ready?
But yeah, sorry. So yeah, I've got a bone to pick with Sky Television and their coverage of the championship. I was furious at it. Right, and people go, "Oh, you're only angry at it because you didn't win." It's like, well, no, but it didn't help, did it? We did not score against Bristol City because of how Sky filmed the match, but how they filmed the match actually made me not enjoy the match. If that makes sense.
Yep.
Because obviously Sky. That's you know what, you do occasionally make a good point. It's very true. It's very true. Let's rewind time and basically let's just pretend that Russ said it, and you still didn't think. No, I didn't because you're a dogger.
He's the chairman of the Slough Dogging Society. He's an important guy.
You're a dogger. I don't believe Spencer's in town today because I believe he's out of town traveling.
Yeah, he's in Vail. He's in Vail in Colorado with his family. I think they're having a vacation there. I think that's why they're there.
Yep, because Halloween's a time to have a vacation. And I'm sure he's listening to this. He's like, Tom, you fucker. But yeah, I told you Bristol City may get sunk out of Leeds because of Manning's son death. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't begrudge him that. But
all Brownie and all his insider tips.
One of my favourite things on the Leeds page online, they put up a thing because obviously there was a silence. They did a remembrance silence before the game, and then they did the applause for the manager's son. Obviously prematurely, but I don't know the facts of it, but basically died at birth, which obviously more important in football to some. Me, I'll go along with that. In all seriousness, and someone chose that particular post to write, I think the referee's favouring Bristol City because there's 4 fouls we have. I'm sitting there thinking, why have you chose this post specifically to complain about the referee? and he can't then go like, there was nowhere else to post it. I'm like, there's a post that shows we kicked off the match. Admittedly, there was nothing happening for them to go, Leeds have scored, Bristol City have scored, or whatever. Spoiler, it's goalless. It's still goalless.
Goalless ball draw.
If they played it till 9 o'clock tonight, it would still be 0-0.
Yeah. So tell everyone why you hated the Sky coverage then. Tell us what went on.
Well, they had the camera. I guess to some degree, they can't help the geography of the stadium, and the sunlight and all that. But basically, there were parts of this game where basically if the ball was in a certain area, you could not see it. It was like you were playing with white football in a snowy game. Basically what happened. They also, again, this has no bearing on the actual result. I'll make this clear because I know there will be a natural belief that I'm making excuses. It has nothing to do with Leeds' poor performance. It's just why I couldn't enjoy it. And the annoying thing is I'm paying for Sky.
Yeah, you're a viewer. You're paying a lot of money for Sky. You're a viewer, so it's important that the coverage at least gives you proper coverage of the game, which, as you say, has nothing to do on the result of the game. It's just the actual viewing of the game. And yeah, I mean, if they've set it up in a way where it's pretty terrible and all that, and you said there was stuff about the producers, chopping between replays and that didn't work as well.
Well, I'm guessing there's a producer or director or something that then goes, go to the replay, go to camera 1, go to the replay, kind of thing like that. I'm not a real expert in it, but I imagine someone has to decide.
Yeah, someone makes that decision. Yeah.
And the more than once, less than 100, but more than 10, it felt like there was times in the game where basically Bristol City had no shots on target. So let's get that straight. So most of these are going to be Leeds on the attack. We don't score because we didn't. They'd stand around and watch Jayden Bogle put in a cross that went out for a corner or whatever. But then they'd stay the camera on Jayden Bogle to have him going, I'll just go get the ball for the corner. And then they'd show the replay of what just happened. But then they'd cut out of the replay and Leeds would have already took the corner. But then the ball would be at the halfway line.
Someone who's new on the job, I think.
Yeah. Again, make it clear that is nothing to do with the result or why it happened. It's not ruining my weekend. It's just my experience of the football was tarnished.
Yeah, exactly. You're paying, like you're saying, you're paying a lot of money. Sky are a very reputable television broadcasting network, and they should be able to present a football game in a manner where you can actually understand what the hell is going on. So, yeah, sounds pretty shitty of them, to be honest.
There was one part of the game, this happened on one occasion specifically, where basically the ball got booted up in the air. And because the sunlight was so intense on half of the pitch, because obviously they've got the cameras situated at the top of the stadium, is my understanding. But it's pointing down, sort of thing. It's very high up for a football cut. Like you can see everything. You can see everything and nothing at the same time, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the pitch is being covered, but again, half of it is sunlight.
Yeah. It's just obviously a poor viewing experience. So yeah, hopefully Sky.
The ball got booted up in the air at one point, and there was at least 10 seconds of me just sitting there going, well, where's the ball? And you can see people running around because obviously from their perspective, they know where the ball is. Because the light, the angle of the light isn't affecting them in the way that it's affecting the viewer. I'd be interested to know if other Leeds fans have seen this the way I see it. Because there could be Leeds fans watching on LUTV, which is different cameras, and they're not getting the same experience. But
you can ask people tomorrow on your show, can't you? That we all love Leeds show.
Yeah, I intend on doing that actually. Well, because we ain't gonna have any fucking goals to talk about.
Nah.
So
exactly.
We'll have the midweek game.
What was telling me about the ball when it went out of camera, went out of shot, and they struggled to keep track of the ball. It reminds me of back in the old days when they were filming golf before they had all that camera tracking technology and that.
Yeah.
And there'd be a shot and there was a bit like grey weather, and all of a sudden you couldn't see the ball anymore, and the cameraman was like, "Oh fuck it, I don't know where the ball is," and you just pan away somewhere and then come back. Oh, the ball's now on the fairway. Okay, there it is.
Thank you for this, Brownie, making me because I'm concerned that although I know I'm right, or because of what I'm telling you what I saw, I know it can sound utter delusional. Totally, I get that. It sounds like I'm a raving madman. Like Sky did this.
No, it doesn't.
Sky.
It doesn't sound like you're trying to make out something that's not there. Obviously, it's just the way it's been set up and produced and everything, and it just hasn't worked very well, has it, on that day, which is or today, which is unfortunate, isn't it?
Well, because we've had games there. We have a really good record there. We've not lost there in about 10 years, if I remember rightly. Which is obviously not a bad record to have anywhere. I mean, part of the reason for that is because we never played them for 3 years where we were in the Premier League. But I think out of our last 10 games there, we've won 8 and drawn 2, including this one. So
Bristol City's always been a team I've associated with the lower leagues. But they're actually up in the Championship now. Is for me that whenever I see their name and I'm looking at the Championship table, I'm thinking, what the hell are Bristol City doing in the Championship?
They were one game away from the Premier League. They lost a hole in the playoff final.
Yeah, I know. They were close, weren't they? Yeah, they were close.
They were one game away from that. Like, their whole future would have been different. Like, even like, it sounds really silly, but even if they'd have got relegated in that first season, they would have still been well positioned to come back because of the sheer money you get through being in the Premier League in the first place. But
Tom, tell us what's the score? We're about 20 minutes into the first half. What's the scores on the doors at the moment?
Thank you for asking. In the Premier League, it's basically everything's goalless except for Manchester City, where Haaland is beating Southampton 1-0. Or Haaland, as I believe he actually pronounced. Apologies.
Haaland, that's the way you're supposed to say it.
Okay. Coventry were 2-0 down to Luton Town in the lunchtime games, and Coventry won 3-2 with a ironically BX Gunners boy Hardy Wright scored in the 92nd minute. So Coventry are keeping the sack away from their current manager.
Right.
So there is that. Burnley are 0-0 with QPR, where if they win, I do believe they'll. Funny enough, Sunderland are winning because of course they are against Oxford. So Bellingham has scored because of course he has. Sheffield United are winning against Stoke. So to my understanding, Leeds will stay third either way, but we'll be 5 points behind Sunderland. It's fine. It's not too early to overturn it. It's fine. Also, Leeds United could achieve a very rare feat next week against Plymouth, where if we do beat Plymouth by a score that is quite embarrassing, we could actually be one of the first teams to ever get someone sacked twice in the same year.
That's a pretty good stat. I like that. That's a good little. That'd be a good one for the pub quizzes, wouldn't it?
Well, I'll say the first time. I don't know if it's happened before, but we did get him sacked at the start of the year when we beat Birmingham 3-0, and hopefully we'll get him sacked when we beat next week. I'll say when.
There was a manager. I didn't quite catch what club it was, but I just saw a Twitter message and it was going viral. And there was, I think it was in Spain. I'm not sure. It wasn't in the Premier League anyway, or in the UK. But there was a game. It was now. I think it was either last weekend or midweek, where the manager got sacked on live TV. It was a post-match interview, right? It was a post-match interview with the, I think it was the chairman or one of the directors or something like that. And he basically just said after the game, "Yeah, this manager's he's not gonna have a job after today," basically. And that was the news that he was getting the sack.
Wow.
I'll have to figure out what club it was, but yeah, it's fun. That was really funny.
Fred West. Wow, Fred West United. Bloody hell.
That sounds like a fun team.
1982. Roy Hodgson was there. That's going back some time, isn't it?
Tom, have you heard of the Tom? Have you heard of the most famous team in Cambodia called the Pol Pot Rovers?
Why do I have suspicions that they're the true Invincibles?
They are the true Invincibles. They've never lost a game.
Of course they never. Because I bet the other teams turned up terrified. Basically, it'd be a great result if you escaped the Cambodian Rovers, whatever they're called, with your life. Let alone a result with your lives.
They've been invincible since 1971, basically.
That takes some doing. No matter how deadly your leader is, that still takes some doing. Ron Atkinson.
Oh, good old Ron Atkinson.
Rod.
Until he did himself in with that, Desai comment. But he was actually a good manager. I quite like Ron Atkinson. I thought he was a good manager.
Ron was a good firefighter. Like I remember when I think Coventry were in danger, and then he stepped in and steered them away from it. And Ron is apparently going to manage the KKK FC. So I'll start to think about fried chicken there, Stefan. So the KKK FC.
KKK FC. I like that one. That's a good one.
I mean the away days are to die for. But
very much so.
But the pre-match meals are delicious. Anyway,
and everyone has to dress in white hoods.
Do they have ultras? All of them, I imagine, Ross.
I think he's talking about the Pol Pot Rovers. Yes, they have ultras. They're called the they're actually called the Phnom Penh Fire. They're called. That's what they call themselves, or just the Fire.
I thought they'd be called the Potheads.
that's another. We'll have to let them know about that. They should maybe change their name.
Kilmarnock Football Club. Have you ever heard of MFC? Do you know what the M stands for in it?
Methadone.
Oh my! I weren't leading him down that path, but Chris Nixon know what the MNMFC stands for, because of course he will. That was when Atletico Madrid's owner was Jesus Gil, who was also the mayor of Marbella, and every week would ride an elephant down the Golden Mile. Every word of that, I can believe it definitely happened, because Gil was a nutcase.
That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing.
Good morning to Spencer.
Good morning, Spencer.
Who's
Hope you're
currently
enjoying. Hope he's enjoying his holiday or vacation, as they say over that side of the pond.
You're having fun. Oh, but there's been a goal at the Brentford Community Stadium, 29th minute. How have Ipswich fluked this one?
Ipswich leading. Oh, it must be fucking rigged if Ipswich are leading.
Of course it is. They're God's football team.
That reprehensible bunch of slags playing for Ipswich.
Non-peg firing squad. Otherwise known as the England penalty unit from 2018 World Cup. Anyway, if you remember back then, Marbella were the shirt sponsors for Atletico Madrid. I remember in 1999, Atletico Madrid was sponsored by Columbia Pictures, where basically they would, for certain games, they would advertise different movies from the studio. Like they played one game wearing a shirt with Hellboy on the front, if I remember rightly. And might not actually be 99. But
there's loads of good stories like that, isn't there?
Yeah.
So many good stories of different clubs with crazy supporters and all that. Town winning, yeah. Well, you know, they get a bit of luck, don't they? They seem to be a very lucky team, that Ipswich.
Methadone was actually mentioned about 4 minutes ago by Mark. Methadone, it was in quick. It was in quick. Goal at Villa Park. John McGinn. It's gone to VAR. No goal. Ball without a play apparently. So, as you were, the goal for Ipswich was Sammy Smodics.
What's his name?
Sammy Smodics.
Bloody hell! It sounds like an anal cream or something. Bloody hell!
With there's a Z in there, but it's obviously silent.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I'm watching the Brighton Wolves games. I'm watching the Brighton Wolves game, and so far there has been a couple of good chances to both teams. There was an excellent long-range shot from Brighton. I can't remember who it was who shot, but it was a good save from the Wolves keeper. And
I'm gonna.
Yeah,
good. Sorry,
it's a pretty good game actually. It's a bit end to end at the moment.
I'm going to describe the Ipswich goal based on how it's being described by Alex Jones on Twitter. I have no idea who that is. It's probably not that one.
I don't think it's that crazy one.
Yeah. Well, he's following Ipswich around town, so he must have something wrong with him. Brilliant move. Through ball from Phillips. Picks out Hurst. Phillips is obviously the greatest footballer of all time. What a pass. What a man. Slick turn by Hurst. And Swodix produces a cool finish. A calm. Cool. Sorry, I'm reading two persons' tweets about the goal at the same time. But basically, it's all because Calvin Phillips was this more than anything. And I think they were going to send him home.
Are there any... Fair enough.
Second goal for Ipswich. They are the luckiest team on earth with no merit to them whatsoever. And I will never respect them. I'll never respect them. We don't talk about
Ipswich. Let's forget them. They're a bunch of slags. Let's forget Ipswich.
But no, seriously, they are going to win the next 30 games and win the Premier League.
With bloody Ipswich. Can't stand them. Anyway. I was going to ask you, have you got any latest scores? Are there any games today
in the goal? Sorry.
Are there any games today in the Grace McEwen Methadone Clinic League? Also,
we can go to the Methadone Clinic League.
Also known as the Scottish Premier League.
Yeah, but the big two are not playing. Dundee United 1, St Johnstone 0, Ross County 0, Kilmarnock 0, and then Aberdeen play at 5:30. So
fair enough. Aberdeen are doing well this season.
Aberdeen are undefeated, aren't they? To my knowledge,
they're actually giving Celtic a bit of a run for their money.
I mean, it'd be very funny if Aberdeen do win the Scottish Premier League.
It would be funny.
It's not going to happen because all that will happen is Celtic will identify who is the best Aberdeen player, and then just buy him.
Yeah, probably buy half the team or something like that. Okay. I just want to. This is a nice segue into the. We're going to cover now and get it finished with. We're going to have the Russ Morgan, as the dogging, sponsored Norwegian update for this week. Norwegian football update, and we're going to start off with talking a little bit about Rosenborg, the team from Trondheim, quite far up north in Norway, not very far up, about halfway up actually. But yes, during the 90s, they were a very good football team. They basically won every season, only losing maybe 1 or 2 games over here. Completely dominant. They got into the Champions League. As we all know, they had some great results in the Champions League. They actually got to I believe they got to the knockout stage twice, I think it was, during the 90s. Once by they actually beat AC Milan away at the San Siro to qualify in the group stage. So, yeah, a very big game that in Norwegian club football history. Anyway, Rosenborg, we're talking about Aberdeen or Celtic buying up all the big players in Scotland and that. Rosenborg, they systematically what Rosenborg systematically did in the 90s. It was fucking terrible. They would buy all the other teams' biggest talents because they had so much money from the Champions League, and they were a pretty wealthy club by Norwegian standards anyway at that time. But then they just became filthy rich with the Champions League money. The difference between them and the rest of the teams in Norway was just ridiculous because none of the other teams really had a lot of money, and then Rosenborg was just at the top there, just clearly much more rich than everyone. And they would systematically just buy all the best youth players in Norway, all the best players from the other clubs. They had a huge squad. Half of them never even got into like the actual league squad. They just bought everyone just to have them. It was ridiculous. And
it's all right if you can do that.
Oh, it was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. But that's what they did during the 90s. They managed to fluff all their money away. When they stopped qualifying they lost a lot of their team. Their really good core of their team became too old and retired. Like the good core, they retired, and then some of the younger players coming through weren't as good. So they started to drop a bit, and a few of the other teams, caught up and everything. So when they started to stop, this is basically beginning of the 2000s, really. They stopped winning the league. They just fluffed so much money on nothing. They just spaffed their money out the window, basically. And now they're still a decent, club, challenging in the top half. Sometimes they'll challenge up for the top 2 or top 3, but. Yeah, it's another story of how a club can manage to flaff away so much money. They had tremendous amounts of money for Norway, and they managed to splurge it all on nothing, basically. Yeah. Anyway, that was this week's little Norwegian segment for Russ Morgan.
Sponsored by Pol Pot.
Sponsored by Pol Pot's Fiery Mints.
It's what? It's what? Sorry. I'll make sure I heard what I thought I heard.
His Fiery Mints.
His Fiery Mints.
Yeah. There's a new product coming out. Pol Pot's Fiery Mints.
Put that in.
I'm not talking about minced meat. I'm not talking about minced meat. I'm talking about the mints you put in your mouth.
Oh, so no, I thought you were trying to say that he had a brand of meat, like Pol Pot's meats. Specifically the mince meat.
Mints, M-I-N-T-S.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. That actually makes more sense. Rosenborg, I had to look at the table in the Norwegian league. They are 14 points off the pace at the moment. Bodo Glimt. Well, of course they're winning. They're 2 teams. Everyone's got to play against 22 players. So I've seen that 9 million times.
Bodo Glimt are actually doing really well. They're a very good team at the moment, and they're doing well in the UEFA Europa League.
Yep. But let's get on to the real story of the week. When is Omos coming back?
That loser. Do we care about him?
Everyone cares about Omos.
Has he actually won any matches yet?
He's not wrestled for like a year.
The guy hasn't won anything, has he?
Nah. It's a sad day. Sad day. In this week in 1997, Sam, Tromso beat Chelsea in the Cup Winners' Cup. Does that sound right?
Could be the Cup Winners' Cup, or could be the UEFA Cup, maybe.
Well, because Chelsea won the Cup Winners' Cup in '98, if I remember rightly.
Did they?
Yeah, because they beat. I don't know why it's in my head, but they had a match where they played Vicenza. They were losing 1-0 in the first leg. Then they went 1-0 down in the second leg, and then they scored 3 goals. And Channel 5 started tossing itself off to them.
Good old Channel 5. I can't remember that. I didn't remember that.
I only remember that because the coffee at my mate's house when I was watching it was delicious.
Oh, wow.
It was Nescafe.
Wow. It was amazing how food and drink, links memories.
My house was a Maxwell house, and it always made me sick.
So you actually found good coffee that day then?
I had some good coffee that day.
They're called Tromsø. That's TRO. Well, actually, TROMS, and then there's a Norwegian it's called, which is an O with a line through it. It's not. You guys are writing Thomso or Tomso.
Is it
Bloody
not Tomso?
Hell, guys. They're called Turum, so it's TROMSO, basically.
Turum.
By the way, you guys, the English guys, people who speak English basically who can't pronounce Norwegian stuff, they'll just say Tromso. Tromso would basically be the way you say it.
Yeah, that's what I knew of it as, and I'll say that mainly because the commentary would have said that. Because if they'd have said what it was actually called, I probably would have said what it was actually called. Yeah, but anyway, the important thing is obviously, let's have a look. Let's see if Stefan's still winning. Of course he is, because, is what it is. Man City are 1-0 up against Southampton. Can I shock you guys? It's still 1-0. Quick game. Manchester City are playing Southampton. Now, according to our friends over at Google, other search engines are available, but why would you use them? What would you guess that the possession stats are for Manchester City?
I would guess it's something ridiculous like 92%.
You're right. It is something ridiculous. It's 51% for Southampton.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mainly, I'm guessing for defensive reasons because it's currently 7 shots on goal, 3 on target, none to Southampton.
Wow. So, okay. It seems strange that they'd let Southampton have the ball that much, but yeah.
Well, I imagine they've already got the game won at 1-0. So, I mean, you've never truly got the game won at 1-0, but,
No, it's dangerous to try and ride it in on 1-0.
Yeah.
Especially
we've all tried to ride something in before. Anyway, Stefan trying to turn this into the Ipswich watch-along hour. You will never be successful with that, sir. You will never.
We don't take kindly to Ipswich around here.
I've not even done an Ipswich watch-along when they were playing Leeds.
Brighton got a player. I can't. What's his name?
Jorginho Rutter.
Is it Jorginho he's got on the back of his shirt then?
Yeah, generally he does.
All right, okay. That's why I didn't recognise Rutter.
Well, when he plays well, he's Rutter. But obviously when he plays how he usually does, he's Rutter.
Hey, talking about trying to be something you're not. Remember Frederick Canute for West Ham?
Yes, sir, I do. Of
that
West
guy,
Ham and later Sevilla.
That guy tried so hard to be Thierry Henry. Do you remember? Do you remember that? Do you recall that? He tried so hard. He mimicked him in every way possible, but without the skill and speed, obviously. But he put his socks up, rolled his socks up over his knees like Thierry Henry used to do. And he would basically, try and run, like the same type of running style as Thierry Henry. And I can't remember if he had the same shirt number, 14. I can't remember. If he did, but anyway, he tried so hard to be Thierry Henry, but he was nowhere near him. It wasn't as good as his bloody bootstraps.
Well, I mean, I personally think he's better than Thierry Henry.
No, you bloody don't.
He never
take that back. Take that back, you slag.
He never scored against Leeds in the cup game that was fixed to allow him to score. So he's obviously better than Thierry Henry.
You mean fixed as in Leeds were shite and had to let they were so shite that they let a pensioner score?
I don't think we let anything happen. I just think we all lost control of our faculties that evening, if I remember rightly. Like, yeah. Right, yeah. So it could have been 3-0, and then what usually happens when it could have been something, but it wasn't, the other team goes down the other end and makes something happen. I am sorry, Stefan, in all seriousness. I don't like to see you hurt.
While he smiles.
That's not true. I'm now only smiling because I can't stop laughing because I know Sam is suspicious. But in all seriousness, he was laughing at my pain.
Probably. You know what they say. You can't hide your body language. You can't hide your body language.
You really can't. But in all seriousness, Ipswich are due a win, obviously. But it's what it is. I mean, to be fair, Ipswich are getting what they actually deserve for buying all these ex-Leeds players. You've literally bought all the nonsense into the hen house. You've brought the Leeds cats into the hen house. It's your fault.
Yeah, their fault. Their bloody fault.
It's their fault. They thought they were really clever. Like, their old transfer policy was, let's go on the Leeds Twitter and see who Leeds are interested in. Oh, Leeds are interested in bringing in. They're interested in bringing back Calvin Phillips. Oh, let's take him on. Oh, Leeds are going to bid for Jack Clark, but we just outbid them with our Premier League money. I mean, that's our transfer.
Calvin Phillips. I mean, that's a player that's just gone completely off the cliff, isn't he? I mean, he was a good player when you guys had him.
He's a great player. He was the England player of the year.
Got into the England squad, played well for England, became a real important part of the England midfield. And he took all the money, went to Manchester City, didn't play, and he's just turned to dog shit.
I will defend him that he then tried to get into the best club side in the world and couldn't. I don't think that's shameful, to be honest.
Well, I understand. You know, this is a bit. Actually, it's actually a bit of an interesting discussion. But the thing is, when it comes to players, right? You think, oh, Welbeck just scored 1-0 Brighton, good goal. Danny Welbeck, bloody hell, he's come through again, hasn't he? After being a bit mediocre for a few seasons, he's sort of come back to his sort of he's reaching a bit of potential now this season, hasn't he? He scored a few goals so far, hasn't he, this season?
Danny Welbeck with his greatest season return ever already.
How many goals has he got now this season?
It's about 6. I could be wrong. I think it's about 6.
Wow, he's doing well, isn't he? Oh well, good on him, Danny Welbeck.
That might not be factually true, but we've got news coming through from the Brentford Community Stadium where I'm not happy with this.
Look at cocky Stefan. What did I say? I said you can't be cocky and say, come out, being big and giving it large with your messages. This is what happens. You jinx it.
Sam is the prophecy.
You bloody jinx it.
Nostradamus over here. Don't jinx it. And obviously, Johan Visa has scored twice in a minute.
Bloody hell. But anyway, I was going to say, when it comes to players, you understand a player, he wants to be ambitious and he's like, yeah, I want to try my luck at, going to the best club, available, for me. And, so obviously trying to go to Man City, trying to get in there. Yeah, it's ambitious, but it's like at the same time, you got to be realistic. It's like, how much playing time are you going to get? That's the thing. I think too many players go to like Real Madrid, Barcelona, and of course it's the money and the glamour and all of that. But at the same time, so many players I feel go who aren't quite ready yet to they're not at that level really, but they get to, they get bought by them and they just go and they don't play. It actually, if you're not going to play football, you're not going to develop. It's as simple as that. Especially if you're younger. If you're younger, you need to play. So when these young players go to like Real Madrid and Barcelona straight away, they don't develop.
Calvin Phillips specifically, what I think the actual true sad thing is that he's now reduced to playing for Ipswich. Despite what you think about what I think about Ipswich or whatever, it is truly sad because like you can sit there and go, all right, he joined Man City, went from Leeds to Man City. Right, fine, okay, because he obviously didn't want to leave Leeds, but he knew he had to, realistically, to become a top level footballer. It's not worked out for him. That happens in football.
Yeah.
But the fact that he has now fallen to basically his future is essentially playing for whichever team gets promoted and can pay the wages.
Exactly, that's what's going to happen now. I was actually rather disappointed to see when he went to West Ham. It was West Ham he was at, wasn't it, before he went to Ipswich? Because basically at City he hardly got to play at all, which really hampered his development. But then he went to West Ham and he got to play a few games. And he was, that's what surprised me because he wasn't that long at City. So you think, well, at West Ham, he should be able to, at least, get some of your ability back. But he just seems like, I don't know. It just,
the real crux of why it hasn't worked. And this is going to sound really absurd. It's because he only wants to play for one football team. And he used to play for him, and he doesn't anymore. And ultimately, and people say it's an absurd statement, but he is clearly putting in performances based on the fact that he wants to play for Leeds United, because that's the team he actually loves. But we can't pay for him. Unless he actually wants to. No, I could be totally wrong, but I genuinely believe if we'd have got promoted, he'd be in a Leeds shirt. It just without question, Ipswich would have had no chance, even if they won the playoffs. If we went up as second, Ipswich went up as third or whatever, he would have been playing for Leeds. Ipswich wouldn't have had a log chance in hell of getting that player because he only wants to play for one team, and all his performances since he's left that team have suggested it.
Yeah, well, we don't really know. We don't really know, do we? I'm not sure.
No, you only find out if he ever ends up coming back to Leeds and then turning into fucking Rodri.
I'll tell you what, another player who's impressing me is this Matoma for Brighton. He is such a good little creative midfielder.
His best mate plays for Leeds.
Oh, here we go.
Genuinely
You've turn everything into fucking Leeds, haven't you? Every fucking thing we talk about, you manage to fucking angle it into Leeds somehow. We could be talking about the fucking green grass of fucking Hyde Park, and you'll be like, oh, in 1974, fucking, what's his name?
Leeds United won the title in 1974.
Andy Gray fucking had a kickabout with fucking Archie Ball or whatever his fucking name was in Hyde Park when they went to London for a fucking shag.
You ever heard the story about Ken Dodd doing a set in Hyde Park and then some lady started fingering herself in the front row? No one knew what to do.
I can't remember that one. I don't think I've seen that one.
I think Ricky Gervais tells it, but because Ricky Gervais was watching her going to town on herself, as I believe he described it, and I don't know if it's actually true because a comedian said it, so probably not true, but in my mind.
So tell us,
Stefan with the crux of football at his heart. Most players don't give a shit about the club they play for. It's all about the Wonga.
It's true.
I imagine when he wrote that, he jumped up on his table and then he started swinging his dick, going Wonga, Wonga,
Wonga, bonga.
That's not PG. He hadn't played for a year, Brownie. He was rubbish at West Ham. Unfortunately for him, it felt like everything that could have gone wrong for him did go wrong for him. Like, didn't he give away a penalty which wasn't a penalty when they played Newcastle when they were winning and then they lost, if I remember rightly? But it just felt like anything that could go wrong for that man went wrong. But then sticking your fingers up at the West Ham fans is never going to ingratiate yourself to them.
I remember watching. I was watching West Ham just by chance, really. I was watching West Ham when he had his debut, his first game for West Ham, and the first touch
gave away a goal.
He gave away a goal. It was a really bad back pass that the other team striker got onto and scored. I mean, that just doesn't build confidence, because confidence is important in football, right? If you're making mistakes, some players don't really handle that well, and they get into a really bad stretch of form. You know, that probably didn't help either. His first fucking touch of the ball was to give a goal away, basically.
I believe that Marcelo Bielsa's Google searches when he became Uruguay manager included: can Calvin Phillips play for Uruguay? Can you play for Uruguay after you've played for England already? Like, allegedly,
probably was.
Allegedly, he said to Patrick Bamford, "Patrick, you're a good man, but if I had to have someone marry my daughter, it would be Calvin."
Bloody hell!
He loved Calvin.
Good old Bielsa. There we go.
Calvin.
So give us. So it's half time now. Give us the halftime scores then in the Premier League.
Stefan's trying to rile me up. He's trying to rile me up. You've been caught out. You've been sussed. It's not going to work. It's been nearly 20 years. Not nearly. It has been 20 years. Is what it is. He made the mistake of telling his agent, "I want to go to a club that's playing Champions League football." The only club that offered money for him that were playing Champions League football was that club. So that's where he went. In my opinion, he could have gone about it a bit better, crying on the final day, knowing that you are angling for a move to that club, potentially, is probably not the best idea. Also, coming out and going, when Sir Alex comes in for you, there's only one place to go, probably not also a great idea in the scheme of things.
Alan Smith was a slag, wasn't he? I mean, I always hated him. I thought he was
great player,
he always came across as, just like a real horrible, he was always bloody moody and bloody fouling people, and I was just a real slag. I hated him.
Oh, when he played for Leeds, I loved him. Like, he's a sort of player. If he plays for your club, you'll love him because you know you're going to get 100%. Like, that's a minimum. Like, that is, on his worst day, you're still getting 100% from him. But
that's a good old English way. The good old English way, is basically, can you run? Can you kick lumps out of people? Yeah, that's great. We want you to play football. That's basically the traditional English way of football, wasn't it?
This is the same. This is a good comment as well. This is the crux. I say this to Ben every week on the Leeds show, whether you catch it or not. I say it to Ben every week. No one will ever love Leeds United more than you love Leeds United. Like I say it to Ben, or like no one's ever gonna love Arsenal more than Sam Greenwood loves Arsenal. No one's ever gonna love Ipswich more than Stefan loves Celtic. Like, but, that's quite weird.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, well, that's a good segue and a little discussion we can have. But first, give us the halftime scores from the Premier League.
Absolutely. We are in half time, so obviously Bournemouth are goalless at Villa. McGinn's goal was ruled out because the ball went out of play. I haven't seen it, but Brentford 2, Ipswich 2. On for the Desmond. Thank you. That was I didn't even plan for that. I just saw him come up with a comment about Man Nightlife. I was like, we'll fucking get him for that.
Stefan was giving it the large. 2-0 up. We're giving it the large. And what did I say? You jinx it just like Gary always does with Spurs. And what happened?
Brighton 1, Wolves 0. Goal from Danny Welbeck, assisted by Jorginho Rutter. Never heard of him. Manchester City 1, Southampton 0. And obviously, at 5:30, Everton play Fulham in the let's go and get some food game of the night.
Yeah,
family, you want to go out for a meal? You say I'm always focusing on the football. It's definitely
the late kickoff that nobody's going to watch, basically.
It's definitely Everton versus Fulham. Yeah, right, we're going to go for a meal. We go to the Jimmy's. We go to the buffet. Anyway, obviously in the Championship, Burnley.
It's not the Championship, Tom. It's the Northumberland Disabled League. You know that by
now. In the Northumberland Disabled League, Burnley 0, QPR 0, Derby 0, Hull City 0, Plymouth Argyle 0, Preston 2. Sam Greenwood has scored for Preston. Sam Greenwood.
Yay! Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'll bet it was a free kick. He's got a deadly free kick on.
He's good at free kicks, though. That's true.
He is. He like to let you know, he is good at free kicks. Obviously, I want that to turn into 5-0 because, again, as we say, I want to get Rudy sacked for the second time in the same year. Incredible business. Incredible business. I saw online there was a Plymouth fan basically going, Wayne Rooney's had a good start. I'm like, mate, you're 19th. You're 19th in the what? Sorry. Actually, no, sorry, I got that wrong. Not 19th. 21st, and they are dropping to 22nd. Anyway. Sheffield United 1, Stoke 0. Sunderland 1, Oxford 0 to take them 5 points clear of Leeds. But is what it is. A lot of time to go. Swansea and Millwall goalless. And a West Bromwich Albion versus Cardiff sat goalless. Although an exciting thing that must have happened there because Perry NG and start of Sunderland Till I Die, Josh Madger, both got booked in the same minute. And I imagine it wasn't because they were comparing their grandmother's dinner recipes. Probably a bit of handbags or whatever. Yeah, Brownie, if you'd like to confirm that for me, I'd appreciate that. In the chat in League One, Birmingham drew at lunchtime. No one else I'm really interested in. What's Wrexham up to? I don't care. They're 1-1 at Charlton. In League Two, the most important thing: Crewe Alexandra 1, Transmere Rovers 1.
So 1-1. So the non-binary result at the moment: Transmere are drawing. Okay.
Transmere drawing.
That's very important.
So obviously,
well, Russ, on request from Russ Morgan, the visually impaired, the Norwegian visually impaired league, otherwise known as the Norwegian Women's Premier League, they're not playing any games this weekend because they're on an international break. They have qualifying games for the Euros, which is next summer for the women. Yeah. So they're currently on an international break at the moment. But Russ, since you so kindly request, I will give you a bonus. I'm going to give you now the current results at this moment in the Norwegian First Division, the second tier, basically, which is called the Obos-ligaen. That's because the Obos is the sponsor of the Norwegian First Division. It's a very well-renowned Obos, just so you know, fun fact. Obos is a company, Norwegian company. They are a large housing foundation company. They help out, they build loads of houses and, basically do all the administration and stuff of all of that and sell them, and you can become a member and you basically get first right to buy and all that kind of crap. Anyway, the scores we had earlier, my local team where I'm living at the moment, they're in the First Division. They're called Mjøndalen. They played away earlier today at Egersunds Idrettsklubb. They lost 3-1. Mjøndalen are not very good at the moment. They're pretty shit. The other games, half-time at the moment. Levanger 1, Sandnes Ulf 0. Raufoss 1, Kongsvinger... Raufoss 0, Kongsvinger 0. Sorry, 0-0 at the moment. Lyn, an Oslo club, traditional Oslo club. They're leading 1-0 at home to Bryne. Then we've got Start from Kristiansand in the south of Norway. Start, they're leading at home 1-0 to Moss. And no, that's not Moss, the growth on the ground. No, that's the name of a football club. Sogndal at home, losing 1-0 at home to Åsane. And then we have Ranheim, who are drawing 0-0 at home to Ålesund. And Ålesund, you guys, keep your ears open now for a little fun fact. Ålesund is the home club and youth club of Jon Arne Riise, the Norwegian who has played the most games in the Premier League.
Not Eric Backer.
For Norwegian. That was a fun fact, wasn't it? We found out the other day. And, played plenty of games for Liverpool and Norway. And he's a bit of an arsehole, actually, in real life. He's been married 3 times, always goes after the same type of bird, a blonde with big tits, lasts about 4 months, and then it breaks up. But he was very full of himself. So he actually, when he finished off with Liverpool and Norway, one of the first things he did is he went back to Ålesund and played a bit for them as an oldie, basically, coming back to his club, sort of like, full circle type of thing. Didn't manage to play much because he was crap and, not very good anymore. But the first thing he did when he was finished then, playing his last games for Ålesund, he demanded a statue. He actually went to the club director and said, I would like a statue because I'm the most famous person that's ever played for this football club, which arguably probably is correct. But they were so flabbergasted by his request and nobody really liked him. And they put it to a vote at the club and they voted no. They voted no. So he didn't get a statue. So now he hates them. So that's great. Anyway, that's a little bit of fun facts for you there, Russ. I know you like to follow Norwegian football.
They've got a question from Russ Morgan, which basically said, wasn't he the gatekeeper in Asgard? Haven't the hobbits got to go to Isengard? Hobbits got to go to Isengard. Anyway.
I'll be talking about Orsheim, not Oldheim, but anyway, yeah.
Slough were losing 2-1 to Worthing.
That's probably because you're not in the Asda car park sucking people off. That's probably why that's happening.
The Frank McAvenny of Norway.
Yeah. Yep.
We've also got, obviously we answered that, just handbags confirmed from Brownie. Brownie, the proprietor and owner of Football with Brownie, which I have it under great authority, is a group on Facebook and on the YouTube, which is a YouTube channel, where he provides content about football, which is very good. And it's so good that I've only just decided to start following it. No, it's not true. It's not true. Anyway, but in all seriousness, he's a good lad. And he did conduct a live banning on one of his live shows. So basically treat him well or he will go live and actually show you being banned. So
yeah. He's also done a live stream. He's throwing a hamburger around in his car. With a bit of a strop after some kind of result, I think it was. I can't remember. I think what it was.
He's a great lad in all fairness.
It's good fun, Brownie. Our Brownie. We enjoy his content.
But so I'm surprised he hasn't banned me. Russ, there's still time, mate. There's still time. A year yesterday, a touchdown, Heathrow, lads. 1 year freedom. Sorry.
Freedom, yeah. A bit of Mel Gibson, yeah.
Is that, a bit of Braveheart.
I bet he's glad about that.
Yeah. Have we got time for movie of the week?
Oh, God, here we go.
I watched a fair few of them.
You've been posting stuff all the time, you have.
I did watch on Monday because I didn't get to it the previous week due to illness. As we said, I saved a lot of people from the flu by not going there. On Monday, I had no such.
You're a bloody hero, Tom. You're a bloody hero. Is the mayor going to give you the key to London?
You should do.
Is Sadiq Khan going to come and knock on your door and just say, "Here you go, Tom. You're a fucking brilliant lad. Here you go."
I'd be like, "Sad, can I call you Sad?" Anyway,
Saddy, mate, how you doing? All right.
Bro, Russ Morgan said, if I'd known you in a Heathrow, Brownie, I would have still stayed home. I still would have stayed home. The Mick Out was my fave Brownie vid. I pissed myself
is that the one where he went and tried to do graffiti on this one of the inside one of the area of the ground there, and he had the wrong paint because he was doing it on metal, and it just kept running off. He couldn't get the right fucking paint for the graffiti.
That sounds Brownie. You know I love you, Brownie, but that sounds like a very Brownie thing. To be fair.
Oh,
hello to Anders.
Brownie does the silliest shit, honestly, but it's great fun.
Hello to Brownie. Sorry. Yeah, hello, Brownie. Hello to Anders Kelsey.
Yes, our Swedish friend. Our Swedish friend from Sweden, obviously. But I suppose I have to talk to him a little bit in Swedish. Hej Anders, hej, mår ni bra? Låt mig fråga dig, knullar ni hästar eller knullar ni gris? Jag vill gärna veta det där. I'm gonna give bar.
Yeah, but
You don't want to know what I just. You don't want to know what I just asked him. It probably wouldn't be PG.
It'd end up talking. It obviously talk about all the women he's been slaying, as they say on the streets. Anyway, I watched the Wild Robot movie of the year. Fantastic, genuine good piece of business. So good, such a good film. The Apprentice, not as good as the Wild Robot. Is the Donald Trump movie. Not going to turn this into a political cesspit, but still, I advise people watch it just to say they've seen it. Venom 3 was all right. It was fine.
Can't bother with that. It looks absolute shit to me.
It was fine.
I'll tell you why I didn't bother watching it. First of all, I'm not really into all those superhero movies. There's just too many of them, and I just can't really get excited by them. I enjoy Batman, I enjoy Superman, but that's about it. But anyway, the reason I haven't bothered with Venom is because I saw a few of the trailers for like the first one, and I could just see that Tom Hardy just for me, and I might be wrong with this because you've obviously seen the whole movies, all three of them probably. I've only seen some clips, but for me, like I said, I could be wrong, but the way Tom Hardy looks, like the way he's playing his role in that bit, it just looks like he doesn't give a fuck. It's like, oh, thank you. I'm getting paid like 50 million quid for this. Thank you very much. I'll just turn up and do it. He just doesn't look like he gives a fuck. It's just like, it just doesn't look like he should be there, but that's just my opinion. So, yeah. But I might be wrong. Did he play well? Does he play well in it? I don't know.
I thought it was all right. I'm not going to sit here and disingenuously go, this is the best superhero movie ever. You have to watch it. That's not true. But there's a lot worse. Put it this way. It basically picks up Joker 2 and wipes its own arse with it.
Bloody hell, we got you're in Vale, right?
Yeah, I'm out in Colorado hanging out. I just thought to hang out for a couple minutes while we're getting ready to leave this hotel and head to Denver. Now, so.
Cool, good to see you, buddy.
Yeah. So
what's in Denver?
Well, we're going to the Broncos Sunday, so there's that.
Mile High Stadium, yeah.
Yep. And then we may hit an Avs game, but we may actually, depending on the time today, we may go to the Nuggets game today. We shall see. It's at 3:00, cool. So it's
you could be doing NFL, NBA, and the NHL.
Yeah, cool. It depends on the cost, man. The Nuggets game really is. It's gonna be a hard one to go, but this place is expensive, man. This place is
I was going to say Vale isn't that like a rich man's paradise type of place for the winter and stuff?
Bro, the wife wanted to come here, so I made the dream come true. Yeah, but other than that, man, I'm ready to leave.
Isn't Vale like where all the
yes. No, you're right. You're right. This reminds me of the film Elf, where basically in the classic scene where Will Ferrell's character is basically annoying Peter Dinklage's character because he's like the big league, like children's story writer. And as part of his boasting, he turns around to the elf and goes, "I've got places in Paris, LA, and Vale."
Yep.
Well, I'm like, that's the only reason I know that Vale's a fancy place. Because why would you?
Yeah, because it's like a billionaire ski resort, basically, isn't it? Basically,
yeah, it's up there, man. I'll tell you what, like. I've got to watch them try to get there's snow in the mountains. You probably can't see it because the sun's bright, but there's a mountaintop like about right here-ish, and it snowed Monday, and I was watching them put the ski resort getting ready to put the snow out there. Dude, it's I'm ready to go to Denver. That's all I'm going to say. And the best part of the trip, got in at night, got the rental car, and drove through the mountains, pitch black. Never done that before. And as you're going down this one steep grade, they've got runaway tractor trailer.
Oh, wow.
You're like, are we going to die today? So made it here. Cool. I got to watch a little bit of the Villa game downstairs. It was on TV. But how's everybody doing? I mean, I don't want to bore you with what I got going on.
No, it's cool.
Russ Morgan with an excellent comment here. I might be biased. Where he said, shame it wasn't in London and Paris and Tokyo or Scotland and Canada or Mexico.
I think I saw him here, actually. I didn't see him. We didn't see
We all
him.
believe in Joe Hendry. Anyway,
Well, Vale does look nice. I've seen some pictures and some like vlog stuff from there, and I saw a couple of your pictures as well. It does look nice there. It's
I think if you could do one day here. Outside of that, man, every restaurant you go to, and that's not. We saw someone. It was a Mexican restaurant, and they had you could buy a liter of tequila.
That's not a good idea.
Hold on, $285 US, and I'm like, first of all, why? Second of all, but I mean, there's things, dude. I'll send you guys pictures, but there was this one like ugly ass coat in this one store. They wanted $4,000 for the coat.
People just buy that for the cred. It's like, oh yeah, I've got that name or whatever.
Yeah, you see Porsches and things like that up here. We're definitely we're way out of our tax bracket. Whatever.
If you have to ask how much it costs, you can't afford it.
Oh, that's what Holly was saying yesterday because we went to this one store. She's like, "There's no prices on anything," and I was like, "Then let's leave."
That's when you know. When there's no prices, that's when you know.
And look,
if you have to ask, you shouldn't be there.
That's 100% true. But no, we'll see. We'll see. They got definitely going to the Broncos game, definitely doing the Avs game. The Nuggets game is going to be a little bit tough. They're playing the Clippers today, so we'll see. But yeah, no, I did post a couple of videos yesterday, and Brownie was looking at them. It's a cool spot. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's definitely cool, and Colorado is a very beautiful state. The mountains are impressive.
Yeah, the Rocky Mountains are pretty cool, aren't they?
I mean, you're driving, and I'm sure Switzerland has massive mountains too. I don't know the height difference, but I mean, this is my first time really seeing 10,000 foot elevation mountains, right? And you're coming down, and you just see this rock formation. You're like, all right, that makes sense. And then I'm seeing on the side of the road, crossroad, like bighorn sheep and all sorts of different animals I didn't know existed. Watch out for them, and it's just been. It's been an adventure, but
Vail looks amazing, and you're right. That area of Colorado and all that around it is amazing, and the Rockies are amazing. I've actually driven over the Rockies. I did on one of my road trips. It's actually the longest single day drive I've done in my life. I drove from Denver down to where just north of the Grand Canyon in one day.
Yeah,
I think we used about 10, 11 hours basically, but yeah. We drove over the Rockies up into where the snow was, and then down the other side, and that was just crazy. I really love that the change of scenery and environment and nature and everything, because you're going up through the mountains, snow, and all of a sudden, a few hours later, I was in the desert. I'm like, wow, this is just crazy.
It's something that if you get a chance to experience, experience it, right? I mean, you can vouch for it, Sam. It's one of the most impressive things that you can see. Yeah, just how that, and there's, the mountain goats that climb up the mountains at the steep grades.
Crazy.
To do it. So,
yeah, it's amazing.
Stefan's quiet, but what Stefan's not going to tell you right now is that Brian and Bremo has to score the penalty to make it Brentford 3, Ipswich 2.
Wow. They're doing an Everton, basically. They're doing an Everton, taking a 2-0 lead and then just completely flapping it.
Couldn't be fast enough to tell us about Ipswich scoring, but he's not as quick about the Brentford comeback. Pure Stefan.
So Spencer, what's like, you guys just been hanging around chilling there, or has been anything you've been doing apart from just chilling and shopping? And
that's really it up here. Today we're gonna head to Denver tonight, but there's 4 or 5 towns on the way we'd like to hit to kind of drive through. Because I mean, that's the thing. The big city's got its luster and its lash, but those small, I would call them cowboy towns, the old gold rush towns are out here. So it'd be kind of cool to go to them. We're just really we just needed to get out of Virginia. We haven't taken a legitimate vacation going somewhere in 10 years. So it was
great.
Yeah.
How long are you guys away for?
We'll be back Tuesday morning or Tuesday evening. Yeah. So
good little trip.
Yeah.
So generous Stefan, generous. Thought he'd let me find out via other means. Brownie says, I grew up in the Brecon National Park. You grew up in National Park. That explains a lot.
We all know that wolves raised Brownie. I mean, come on,
that's what I'm just discovering. Did you fall in the bear pit and the bears took you in?
The Brecon Beacons are really nice. It's a really nice area of Wales, but the elevation is not as high as the Rocky Mountains. The Rocky Mountains gets pretty high.
Yeah,
pretty nice.
I will say this: I was surprised because everybody talks about the altitude in thin air. I haven't really felt it, but I also haven't exercised up here, so there's that. I'm assuming if I decide to go,
you should get exercising up there. That gives that's all the top athletes do. They go up to high elevation, do their endurance training. That's what you should do.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny. I was looking at some of the ski mountains, and that's probably, if you were here, that's what you would do. You would just get on the skis. And
I think Vale is definitely more of like a winter place, isn't it?
It is. You could do stuff here in the summer. There's nature, trail hiking and stuff. But my big concern is, like, I don't know why you want to go do some of that stuff and end up with a mountain lion, and then you're just this was a great idea, honey. Well, one of us has to outrun the other, so yeah. So I hear people say Aspen is better, is what I've been told. Aspen's a better place to go to.
Yeah, I think Aspen, they've got more going on in Aspen, I think. Yeah, but Vale is pretty nice. And then Vale, I believe Vale, I don't know if they still have it, but Vale did have part of the, the downhill, Alpine, not because they do downhill, Super G, slalom, the Alpine World Cup, basically, where they go all around.
Only the coolest girls get to go to Aspen.
Anyway, I was just saying, I think Vale, do Vale still hold? I think they have an event every year for the World Cup. Alpine
I didn't see anything, but I definitely saw they have a Colorado Sports ski museum this year. So I think there's a lot of pictures of different Olympic stuff here. So yeah, I do think they probably still do something. There was actually an MMA fight here last night.
MMA is everywhere now, isn't it?
We didn't go to it. I looked at the price and I was like, nah,
not worth it.
But even then, I tell you what, I'm going back 2 hours in time. I'm still having a hard time adjusting to that too. So it's much better.
Hours? You find it hard to adjust to 2 hours.
Yeah, it's difficult. I'm sure Brownie's gonna be like, I'm 15 hours from Wales time now, so I'm sure I'll get a lecture on that. But it's just hard to really kind of adjust back and not get up at 6 a.m. and be in bed by 8:30, 9 o'clock. So I'm sure I'll be good by Saturday night tonight. But I'm just tired. Didn't get enough sleep. So got plenty of sleep last night. So should be good though. But anything else going on in the footballing world?
Breaking news. Southampton have had a shot on target at the Etihad. They didn't score it. Didn't score it. Their possession has now gone down to 41%. 41%. They were dominating the possession at one point.
The big games are tomorrow, aren't they? We've got Man United playing West Ham. They've got Chelsea and Newcastle, and they've got our game against Liverpool. So big games are tomorrow. Manchester City are beating Southampton, as everybody would expect.
So as another quick rundown of the scores, obviously Cardiff are 0-0 at West Brom. That's a great point if you can get it, Brownie. Just gonna say that now. Sunderland have gone 2-0 up against Oxford, because of course they have, because they're the new gods team in the Championship. Preston have gone 3-1 up against Plymouth Argyle. So let's keep those great results coming for Plymouth, because I want to get Rooney sacked next week.
He's useless, isn't he? He is useless.
I'm just pointing out here, I do not want him sacked. I just want to get him sacked. If that makes sense. Like, if he's not sacked after Leeds beat him 12-0 next week, we're not. But then just keep him in the job. Keep him in the job. But still, because it'd be the second time we'd have got him sacked this year in 2024. So anyway. Cardiff, no, I've already said that. Cardiff 0-0. Burnley 0-0 against QPR. So Sunderland at this point are going to open up a gap at the top of the Championship. Early days. I'm not panicking, but a lot of Leeds fans will, because they're pricks. Anyway, what? Sorry, my real thoughts out loud. What I'm supposed to give, right? Brownie, the national part was great for picking mushrooms. Of course they were, Brownie.
And we all know it's going to be the type of mushrooms you don't put in the frying pan, don't we?
You weren't going to put it on your burger, were you? Hanging on a bit at the moment. I mean, I'm not surprised. But still, I hope you get the point. I want to see Cardiff doing well, but not too well.
I was going to ask,
not more well than Leeds. Anyway, sorry, what?
Sorry, I was just going to ask Brownie quickly because I know since the new managers took over, they've been doing quite well. Got a couple of good results, but now seem to be struggling a bit more today. But West Brom, I mean, they're a pretty decent team, aren't they? But I was just going to ask Brownie, does he think it's a new manager bounce, or does he actually think the new manager, is going to do a good job?
Former Arsenal 1998 youth team player Omar Rizza is their manager, I believe.
I actually remember that name.
He appears in their team in like Premier Manager 98 or something like that. I mean, he's got like one star. Like you're never ever actually going to play him.
No, that's right. Like one star, one star.
It's not really a name you forget because it sounds like something you wrap your tobacco in. But anyway, what? Sorry. Sounds a bit like Rizla. Yeah. Anyway, what?
I was looking over at the table. I don't know if we've had this discussion yet, but Crystal Palace in 18th. Now, the only saving grace have only conceded 11 goals. But so I know we talked about the manager and how Bayern Munich wanted them and how they're going to kick themselves over that. But how in trouble are Wolves right now, sitting here, 20th place? They've scored 10, given up 23, don't have a win at all. I mean, are we going to see one of these guys that have been in the league for a while go down this year, you think?
Nope. I actually believe you're going to end up, I think the current bottom four, I think you're going to see one of those four survive on 30 points. This is how far the standard has fallen, in my opinion. But basically, Everton are going to survive. Everton are going to survive by virtue of being the fifth worst. And that's it, ultimately. Crystal Palace have got it in them to string a few results, though. They just have.
They're really struggling without Elise, aren't they?
Yeah. Brownlee, the Cardiff expert, said he's still a temporary manager at the moment. Aaron Ramsey helping him out on the sidelines, and he's injured.
No, Ramsey probably looking at doing some coaching then.
Aaron Ramsey injured. Imagine my shot.
That's basically as surprising as the sun coming up in the morning, basically, isn't it?
I mean, yeah. Football heritage, Ramsey, and what do you call it?
So, Spence, you got good seats for the Broncos game?
Yeah, I actually did. I bought them yesterday. I hadn't bought them until we got out here because I was waiting for the price to drop. People resale.
Ticketmaster.
Yeah, I went Ticketmaster. I've got something decent seats face value, so I can always feel good about paying face value. And I haven't been to a game in Denver.
Good. That's good.
So I was like, we could spend a little bit of money on that.
Who are the Broncos playing?
Oh, they're playing the Carolina Panthers. It's not. They could lose, but it's going to be a easier game. So the only reason we picked this weekend is because the Avalanche play too. So it was kind of like, because originally I wanted to come for the Raiders weekend, which was 3 weekends ago. But she wanted to come see the Avs play. So this
cool. Who are the Avs playing?
So the Avs play the Senators tonight and they play the Blackhawks tomorrow. So
we're going to see my team as well. The Blackhawks are absolutely shit at the moment. They got a couple of good players though. Connor Bedard is good, but the rest of the team is pretty shit. Yeah,
so hopefully we can see them win. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, though. But I want to have a real quick discussion because I got to get ready to go here shortly. But I want to ask you this, Sam. What are you thinking about tomorrow for the back line with Saliba out?
That's a very good question. Because we really need to know, because I think there's going to be a couple of late fitness tests on Timber. I don't know. I don't think he's going to be ready, though, because I saw the Netherlands haven't included him in their provisional squad for the next November international squad. But yeah, I think for me, there's been talk like people you want to use Rice as centre back. I'm like, no, come on, this is we can't do that. We've got to keep him in midfield. No, I think for me, I'd go with White at right back because I think we're going to need his pace and strength against like Salah. I don't think we can really chance it with anyone else out there in right back. Definitely not Partey. We can't do that against Salah. So I think we're going to hopefully stay with right outright, and for me, Kivior is the best option we've got really at the moment. I know he's not fantastic, but at least he is a centre back, and he has had a few decent games. So I would trust him more than like putting Rice in there. So yeah, I think hopefully we get to see Kivior, but it's difficult because Saliba is such a huge influential player for us, and him together with Gabriel, that unit, breaking up that unit tomorrow, and also not having a proper. White's a good right back, but he's not our best right back at the moment. So. Yeah, we're definitely behind in defence, and it worries me a bit for Liverpool tomorrow because they're in good form and everything. But we'll see. Hopefully the guys will galvanise and want to bounce back. Hopefully they're pissed off about the recent games and want to come back and show Liverpool and show everyone that we mean business. But yeah, I think we're going to see Kivior. What do you think?
I mean, Kivior is the option. I think what you could have seen, and this is just brainstorming with the Rice argument, which I don't really support that one. You could have done Rice at center back, Calafiori at the left back, of course Gabriel White, and you could have done Jorginho Partey, and then I'm missing somebody's name in midfield.
You think about Marino?
Yeah, there we go, Marino. You could have done that, and then. If you have Saka available, if not, then you roll with Jesus. I would roll with Jesus.
I think Sterling's looking a bit weak.
Yes, I mean that's kind of the thing about Tuesday. Was it the Champions League game on Tuesday when the penalty was taken by Trossard? That's one of those moments where you wish Jesus or Sterling were still on the pitch because you could have had them have a sympathy penalty as much as people hate to say that, but. A goal's a goal, and it gives that confidence back. And Trossard, he missed it. But, I mean, that's the argument you could make there for the Declan Rice in the middle. I don't really like it. But then because that leaves you really thin at midfield subs. Yeah. I guess you could drop Havertz back and play him as a 10, but he's the
mid. Yeah, you're right. I agree with a lot of what you're saying. And the mid. I think the midfield is so important tomorrow against Liverpool. Yeah. You've got to have the strongest midfield possible because you're going to want to win that midfield battle. That's where you're going to get a lot of the ball. That's where you're going to win the ball back a lot. So that battle is really important. You've got to have the strongest unit in midfield possible. At left back, I think we're going to be seeing Zinchenko tomorrow at left back because I think Calafiori is out injured now for a couple of weeks at least.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
So our back four tomorrow is not Zinchenko. He can do a decent job. Our worry tomorrow is the back four. That's the worry. But if we can keep midfield stacked and hopefully maybe Saka will make it. I think he's going to have a fitness test. Hopefully he'll make it. But yeah, it's going to be a struggle tomorrow against Liverpool. But hopefully hopefully we'll pull it off though and galvanise and show everyone that we can do it. And just to answer Brownie, yeah, Rice did start off as a centre back at West Ham, but he hasn't played centre back for a long while. I know he's played that one game for West Ham, I think. He basically hasn't played centre-back for a long time. He's very good in midfield. That's where he's clearly best is in midfield. So for me, I would much rather have someone who's used to playing centre-back who has done it for us more recently. So that's why I'd rather have Kivior there than trust Rice because Rice is not used to playing. Even though he could play centre-back, of course he could as like a last-ditch option. I wouldn't prioritise him because it's just such a long while since he's done it. He's not used to doing it.
I know this is going to sound stupid. Is KT still out or what's the deal with him?
Yeah, he's still out. That guy's I think we just have to forget all about him.
It's hard with him. I mean, he's on such a salary right now too. I mean,
yeah, because let's be honest. I mean, he was a good player when we got him and he was very promising and he had some good games for us, but yeah, he just wasn't quite doing what we wanted, and he just had those injuries. I mean, he was always injured, wasn't he? All the time.
I think that fullback position is so demanding too of the fitness levels of players, especially the way the modern game has changed it, where you're just like you're almost running like an extra box-to-box midfielder and all these different cuts and these crosses. It's very demanding. I mean, that seems to be the position now. And now this goes to stylistic play to talking to Arteta is like you keep having left backs and right backs getting injured. Is it something with our style of play?
I think he's asking a lot of them tactically. Yeah, they are covering a lot of ground every game. It's very demanding.
So here's the other one I would think about, and this is, I don't know if you're going to actually start him, but you could look at Miles Scully. he's played in some big moments. They brought him in some moments where
he's looking promising.
I mean, I'm not saying he's your starting left back, but if you're like, hey, look, Ben White, we want you to do the inversion, and I'll have a back three of Kivior, Gabrielle, and Miles Skelly, maybe. I think he could keep up fitness level, but that's also a thing where Liverpool may push Salah to that side, and he picks on him.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens on that. I guess you could run Havertz as a 10 with two midfield of Partey and Marino, just keep them back there holding and sit. You may just have to do a run of 4-4-2 like you did against Tottenham and let Liverpool have the ball and hit them on the break.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what
it's going to be good miss tomorrow. So I'll probably make sure I get that game in before we go to the game tomorrow. But I just want to ask you about that because I know the injury concerns are just mounting up, and
it's not looking good for us defensively tomorrow. It's going to be a bit of a way off what we're normally seeing, but yeah.
I mean, this is a season where I know like everybody's talking about the league and everything, but I could see this team winning the League Cup or the FA Cup this year. I think there's a squad good enough for that. The league's not out of the it's not over, but at the same time, I see Tom's already falling asleep. But
Tom's really engaged.
Fucking boring me then.
I can't help it.
You talk about Leeds all the fucking time. Now it's our turn to talk about.
I talk about Leeds in an exciting manner. Like you use fucking talk about statistics and we'll just talk about Miles Skelly. Not even Miles Skelly wants to talk about Miles Skelly. Fucking hell.
It's just a little analytical, Tom. I'm sorry.
So, yeah, we're talking at a high level here. There's levels to
it. I want to say hello to Mr. Fucking. That's all I wanted to do. Just want to say hello, Mr. Fucking. I just wanted to get that joke out. I mean, I guess it's Colonel Ward in one of his 900 aliases.
Must be Colonel.
All I'm going to say is
hello, Bex Gunner as well.
Stand by.
Now do your Arsenal thing.
Well, stand by it. If it ends up going sideways tomorrow, I'm not going to lose my mind over it because the injuries. But some in our fan base are just going to. That's all they know how to do is lose.
Your fan base is irrational and wild. Are you suggesting such things?
Are we talking about the group chat about the women's coach conversation? Oh, Jesus.
Oh, it's absurd. It's absurd.
It's fucking absurd.
I'm not going to dig anyone out, but yeah, it's fucking absurd, that conversation. It was my most awkward masturbation session ever. Sorry, what?
No, I mean, it's gonna be tough tomorrow against Liverpool, but we have to win the game though. If we want to keep the pressure up, we're gonna have to win it because the teams are so good now, especially Man City. You just can't afford to get 7 points behind these guys. It's crazy.
Well, I was thinking about this morning and bore Tom for another 2 minutes. At the end of the day, and I've said this before, winning this league has nothing to do with beating the rest of the top 6. It has everything to do with beating teams 7th through 20th. Because if that's 87 points bare minimum right there. 14 games times it by 3. My math could be off, but that's 87 points if you take care of business against that. So the years we've lost this league, you can go back and look at the West Ham and Fulham last year. You could go look at even the year we missed out on top 4, there was 3 bad results against bottom table teams, and then we got results against United, Chelsea, and I believe there's another one. But either way, it's taking care of business against the teams you're supposed to take care of business. That's why Man City's so good. Of course, they have all the cheating and all this other stuff, but they handle business against the lower teams.
Yeah,
bare minimum. So.
I do.
Yeah, it's difficult to win championships. This is not something that
It is now. It is now because now you consistently now you need over 90 points. You need to go over 90 points now. It's crazy. So yeah.
Yeah, they sit there, watch, see what you do, and then go. We'll get one more point.
Yeah, they're crazy. They're just so consistent, and it's and they get so much going their way as well. Of course, it's yeah. It's crazy.
But Stefan wants to know, is Mr. Fukin similar to Mr. Fuka?
Could be in the same family.
It could be. I mean, he did do his best Kim Jong-il impersonation in his intro. So
yeah.
If anyone has seen Team America World Police,
it's brilliant. Yeah.
It really is. It's well ahead of its time.
Good movie.
Well ahead of its time. Hey, whoa.
Hello.
Hans, you're breaking my balls, Hans, you're breaking my balls. Right, or maybe I'd quote it.
The interview is another great one too.
I haven't seen that one.
The thing with the interview is obviously it had the best marketing campaign of all time with the Sony hack. Like
free marketing.
You cannot beat that. You can't even buy that publicity. But it's the biggest movie that obviously cannot live up to the hype of its marketing. So it's a okay movie. There are funny parts of it. But obviously, I don't think it's unfair of me to say you come out of it thinking you could get a better movie than before you went in because of how much it was promoted. But
Team American World Police is still better, obviously, but that's still a really good movie, considering the subject matter is very sensitive to world affairs.
Oh, you watch that movie now, and it's like today with how politically correct and woke and all this stuff, you can't talk about anything now basically without offending someone. That movie would just not get released today, and it's so fun. It's such a funny movie.
That's
not
why
just what they say, not just what they say. I mean, he's got the Arab, the Arabs, the Muslim terrorists and all of that. They go around saying jihad, Muhammad, jihad, Muhammad. That's crazy.
I will tell you, the Pentagon will be calling those directors. What are you doing? What are y'all doing? So yeah, it's definitely, you can't release something. That's why it's impressive Family Guy's lasted as long as it has.
Yeah, I mean, they probably had some problem. They probably had some problems.
You know what I think it is? Because I think all the people that would get offended by it just don't watch it. They don't see it to even know what actually happened on it.
That could be true as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and the ratings are really good for it too. So that's that helps out also. If they're making money, nobody cares.
Well, The Simpsons basically just watered out now, isn't it? Beyond belief. I mean, the edginess they used to have is just completely gone, isn't it, with The Simpsons?
I try to be really careful when critiquing The Simpsons because I can sit here and go, it's not as good as it used to be. But then if someone then turned around to me and went, what's the latest, like, what happened in The Simpsons last week, the newest episode, I couldn't tell them because I don't watch it because I expect it to not be as good. Yeah. So I've not watched it, so I can't really critique it. Whereas a lot of people do watch the new ones, are like, it's fine. Yeah, it's not going to be as good as the jokes you remember from 30 years ago because they're fucking great. But
yeah, well, that's the whole point then, isn't it? It's lost a lot of its edge, isn't it? Is that, I mean, The Simpsons was what the Family Guy became, wasn't it? Basically, Seth MacFarlane openly said, "Listen, I'm following what The Simpsons did. Basically, just taking it more, more over the edge, basically, or to the edge."
We have got a post from Mr. Fucking with the Mr. Greenwood clan. Very famous in my country. Do we have the K-League scores?
Do we have the K-League scores? I haven't checked, Mr. Fu King.
You know what? I'm having
but Fu King, are you in the same family as Fook Me and Fook Woo?
You know what? I'm going to go on Google. Other search engines are K-League. K-League 1. Suwon lost 1-0 to FC Seoul. Gangwon beat Gimcheon Sangmu 1-0. And the next game tomorrow at 5 a.m. is Daejeon Hana versus Daegu. So we'll look forward to that one.
Wow, that'd be a big one.
Did you get the goal at Villa?
If I wasn't too busy in South Korea, I might have. Excuse me. There's a goal at Villa.
Good old Ross Barkley.
Ross Barkley turning the clock back to last year.
Decent. He's still decent.
Set up by Leon Bailey.
Still a good Villa team.
Score is the same at Brentford. Ipswich have had a man sent off. Harry Clark has been sent off.
Ipswich just basically completely shit the bed now, basically.
Yep, 3-2. Ipswich down 10 men. They've brought on Liam Delap. I bet he wish he inherited his father's throw-ins.
I was just going to say, is he in family with Rory?
He is. He's his son. Rory Delap was such a cheat code, as the streets say, that there is actual footage of goalkeepers scrambling to give away a corner just to not give away a throw-in, not because that man played for Stoke. These are factual things that happened. I've seen it.
Yeah, his throw-ins are crazy. Yeah, they were really
His
good.
throw-ins were like corners.
We let in. I think we let in two goals against Stoke. We were already
They punished you with him because obviously you're defensively. There was a time where you were seen as a very weak team physically, and those teams took advantage of it to its full. Because obviously, if you can actually do a throw in like a corner, you can technically be more accurate with it because you're throwing it rather than kicking it. So that's theory, I suppose. But yeah, it is what it is. Obviously, Ipswich have made changes. Jack Clark is now on. Smodix is off. Wolfenden is on. Connor Chaplin is off. So those are the Premier League players apparently. But anyway, Wolves are still goal down at Brighton. Rata has been booked, so let's hope we can turn that into a red. So what? I'm not petty though. Not petty. He could have said no. He's like, they activated my transfer fee. He's like, you still could have said no though. Like legally, you could still say you don't want to go to Brighton. I'm kind of glad you did because we're probably better without him. Anyway, what? Sorry, it's not him. It's not me. It's him. Anyway, what?
That's what we all say.
Yeah. Southampton are rigging the changes. Southampton got 4 people booked, including Russell Martin. Imagine my shock that Russell Martin has been booked.
That's not really a shock, is it?
It's not a shock at all. I'd have been less shocked had you told me that Junior Firpo was in attendance and got booked.
Oh, here we go.
That would actually be shocking. Anyway,
Firpo again.
Come on, he's the best footballer in England. Got the most assists in the Championship in 2024. No one's even close. Anyway, Dr. Fucking is related to Dr. Chan Fuck Woo Jasper, Department of Microbiology in the University of Hong Kong.
Oh, him, yeah, he's a renowned professor.
Yeah. And Fuck Woo. That's how Ric Flair usually done it. Fuck Woo. Yeah. Anyway,
Fook me and Fook Woo, wasn't they the 2 twins in Austin Powers?
Oh, and Spencer, as I predicted this about 9 months ago. I went, the Bloodline will be back. They are back, and they've all reunited again because, of course, they have, because they like money. Anyway,
so we're talking about talking
the original 3. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Reigns and the twins.
You're gonna go against the other Bloodline.
Yeah.
So what's gonna be the big match for that? Is that that's not a WrestleMania build up, is it?
They've not gone as far as to book anything. I just know that Reigns has got the gang back together because, of course, he has.
Yeah, October. So I'm assuming, because I saw that Braun Breaker won the Intercontinental belt. So I saw that.
Yeah. Plymouth was scored. So anyway, so they all costing each other matches, and basically, like, we're going to end up with a big Samoan Tongan fight, like I always predicted, because I like seeing Samoans and Tongans punch the shit out of each other. Because I've got nothing against the Tongans. Let's make it clear.
Good rugby matches.
No, I was just going to say, it's pretty much rugby is what they're good for, isn't it?
Yeah.
2 really good.
Western Samoa.
Hey, look, gents, I got to get roll because we got to get on the road and head up. But I just want to for a little bit.
Enjoy yourselves. Have a good time. Enjoy the games and enjoy it.
Yeah, I'll hit you guys up on the group chat and everything, and we'll go from there.
Good you dropped by. Good to see you.
All right, gents, take care now.
See you later, buddy. Have a good one.
Have a good night. Plymouth are now 3-2 down against Preston North End. So Wayne Rooney's fighting for his life. Not literally.
Oh, we wish he was. He's probably getting fucking raped by 5 grannies.
That's not PG. Five's a bit much.
I don't think there's a single care home around Plymouth that's safe anymore.
Oh my god! The Plymouth retirement castle had to reinforce security to keep.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you go to every care home in Plymouth now. You can see they've got loads of security on the outside. And Rooney's going to go up there. He's going to try it, and the security guard's going to say, "Mr. Rooney, you know you can't come in here." But my nan's in there. No, she's not. We know you don't have a nan in here, all right? We know that.
My nan,
my nan's in there, my nan's in there. What are you doing? Calm down.
Disaster.
Right, just go Ferguson. Ferguson just come. He's come back from injury. Ferguson scored for Brighton.
Evan Ferguson, he's still alive. He felt like he fell off the face of the
earth.
Yeah,
he was injured for a while, wasn't he? He's come back now. Yeah. I like Evan Ferguson. I think he's a very promising player. He's a strong, fast. He's a good player. I quite like Evan Ferguson.
He's going to be a good signing for Chelsea in the summer.
I want him. I wouldn't mind Arsenal to have him. I really wouldn't. I know a lot of people are probably not going to agree with that, but he's strong. He's got a good finish. He just scored a great goal now against Wolves.
So that's 2-0. Right. Transmere are losing 3-1.
No, what happened to Transmere? That non-binary result now is just out the window.
Crew has turned it around. Crew have transferred the.
Have they transitioned?
They've transitioned from losing to winning.
Bloody hell! Bloody hell!
Oh, Ipswich must have scored because Stefan's decided to tell us. Although you have no standing as a live scores man because you didn't even tell us that your team have conceded. How dare you?
Bloody Stefan! He didn't report the Brentford goals, did he?
Didn't report the Brentford goals. Nah. Not interested in your team doing well, sir, because you're not interested in the truth.
The truth will set you free.
Ironically, though, it was Delap. Robbie Delap, Liam Delap, Rory's son, with the goal. So Ipswich are on for a draw. I mean, can they win? Have a look at my face and tell the story of whether I want that to happen or not. We'll tell you what I really want to happen. Bill, you're the fucking liar, you motherfucker. Anyway, hello to Chris Nix.
The West Ham fan is here.
We've not been discussing this all week in the making our jokes about ASAP Rocky and the old white men that own the Tranmere going, yeah, we've known ASAP Rocky throughout the years and all that.
He's been an avid fan of the road trip, obviously. That's where he got the interest from.
That's how he knows they exist.
I
think West Brom have doubled their load now, at least a drawing coming. I'm not sure if he's actually talking about the flow of the football match or if he's talking about a section.
No, I was going to say, I think... Oh, Wolves just scored. 88th minute. Wolves have just scored.
Wolves are back in the game.
2-1. Nori, whatever his name is, yeah.
Yeah. So, Rayan, Nori, apparently. Stefan's calling Chris Nix a slag.
He is a slag. Definitely a slag.
You should get money every time someone calls someone a slag.
I know. I should get royalties for it.
He'd owe you a lot of money.
I'll be fucking rich.
Even if you got a penny for each one, you'd have £7 million, I imagine.
Something close to that, definitely.
Anyway,
I'll definitely have enough money to pay for someone to go and kidnap Brownie.
Millwall have scored in the 91st minute at Swansea, so that's something. Brownie won't be sad about.
Millwall, what a shit club that is. Honestly.
Plymouth have equalised. Plymouth 3, Preston North End. Aren't you fucking Preston North End managed by former Leeds United man? What's his name? Heckingbottom. You fucking loser. I fucking dare you. Wayne Rooney your point.
What a name.
With his Yorkshire accent, he can't say the word with ball and without ball. He goes, "We're not good with ball, not good without ball." It's like just say or with just just fucking speak English, sir. They don't do enough of that in Yorkshire, in my opinion.
No, they don't do enough of that at all, do they?
3-3. I don't know who scored, but I know they have.
If Plymouth get a winning goal, then all the care homes in Plymouth are going to have to double their security, basically.
They're going to need to triple their security. They'll need to triple the double security they already got when they appointed him.
Because he's going to be wanting to celebrate tonight, isn't he?
He's going to be wanting to be photographed when he passes out in his hotel room.
And I'll tell you what, he's going to want to celebrate. He's going to have his eyes set on old Dorothy, 92 years old, without the Zimmer frame.
Preston, owned by Pistol Pete Ridsdale. I've always said Ridsdale.
How is that guy allowed to have a football club anymore? Honestly,
he shouldn't be allowed. He should not be. What he did to my club is a fucking disgrace. He's like, I tried to buy the dream.
He's done it to multiple clubs, hasn't he? How any club can accept him? I don't know.
Inbred grannies will be having a great time, and Alonso with Schlag. The check goes to Sam Greenwood now because he's claiming royalties.
Pretty much. Hi, Alonso, buddy.
A Schlag is called a bloke. A Schlag is a bloke called Alonso with hello everyone. Everyone. Hello everyone. For fuck's sake, at Chris. And damn you, Stefan. Sorry, no, I imagine him doing that like, you know, in like a cartoon when like the villain like is running away after losing. He's like, damn you, Danger Mouse or whatever. I've not told that well.
Danger Mouse, bloody hell, going back now.
What he done to Cardiff and Plymouth? No one cares about what he did to Cardiff and Plymouth.
Who are they?
Only Leeds matter. He bankrupted my club.
I was going to say he was banned for 2 years, and he comes back into. I mean, how do clubs let him back in?
He just walks back in.
It's crazy. Does anyone expect him to do anything else apart from just con and cheat his way into running the football club?
I was trying to. Oh God! Do you know he can't say the word decision? I've heard an interview done where he can't say the word decision without sounding like a prick, which obviously explains why he can't make good ones. I can't remember the actual way he says it, but it did stick out to me a bit. It's like decisions or whatever. Anyway, that's a bit strong. You slag, Alonso. You slag. Sorry, I did enjoy that. I just went straight for the jug. I was like, you fucking slag. Anyway.
Wolves have just equalised. They've just equalised. 93rd minute. Cunha.
Give me my points, my upset.
They might be reviewing it though.
Don't review it. Don't review it. Just give it. Just give it the goal. Hey, whoa, Alonso from Mr. Fucking. And Brownie, you aren't much slag. You've still spelled my name wrong. This fit and proper ownership of football is laughable. I hope you're well, Brownie. And oh yeah, sorry man, I went for the Spanish ES version. Sorry, bro. Or Spanish.
I'll tell you what, the Wolves goal is pretty crazy because Brighton were on a break. Wolves had a bad mistake, and Brighton were on a break. They were 4-on-1. They were 4-on-1 towards the Wolves goal, and the guy on the right, I don't remember who he was, but he passed the ball straight at the Wolves defender basically. When you had 3 other players clear beyond, he could pass to. He passed straight to the fucking Wolves defender. And then that defender made a good pass in the midfield. And on that break, that exact break that Brighton were 4-1 against them on, that break, they just came straight down the pitch and scored.
Outrageous. Matthias Cunha with the equaliser. And that means points for Tom in the upset pick game. So, very nice.
Pick up some points, yeah.
Yep, Ipswich, I'm due some points because I was originally trying to get the first ever no points. I was trying to pick who loses every week, but then I accidentally flew to draw with Ipswich, so that Sorry, no, I predict Ipswich will win every week, obviously. They're still going to get 29 wins at this point. Burnley have drew 0-0 with QPR, which is actually really handy for Leeds United. Because now we're still joint second in the Championship. Technically third, but, same points. Plymouth are still playing. No, they're not. It's 3-3. 3-3. Whittaker with the equaliser in the... How'd you go 3-1 down? No, they were 3-0 down.
No, they were 2-0 down. They were 2-0 down, weren't they?
No, 3-0 down, and they came back to 3-3.
Were they?
Fucking hell. Someone needs to protect these grannies. There's going to be a Randy Rooney on the town.
They're going to have to lock up all the bloody grannies now.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, Wrexham won at Charlton, for anyone who cares about that club. Grimsby Town lost at home to MK Dons, for anyone who cares about MK Dons.
Grimsby.
Yeah. 3-1, obviously, to Crewe Alexandra over Transmere. Let's have a look. Very good point. It is a good point at West Brom, to be fair. It's a good point considering how you started the season. Brownie, you're getting past, Brownie. You're getting past. How to spell Alonso's name properly, pronounced Slag.
Pronounced Slag. Plymouth 30-year-old grannies, that's so true, don't you?
He's on the form of his life. Plymouth 30-year-old grannies. That's true. Luton are now in a relegation zone in Championship. Last time dropped out the top tier. They went all the way down to non-league before coming up again. Will that happen again? I bet they turn into fucking Barcelona when they come to Ellen Road in November. I'll tell you that now. But anyway.
Luton have got such a shit ground. I mean, their stadium is a fucking embarrassment.
Is Wayne Rooney the one British manager in his 30s who looks like a squash kebab?
That's true. That's true, Mr. Fuking.
There's no way that's not Colonel Ward.
That is Colonel Ward. We know it's Colonel Ward. He's having a laugh. He's enjoying himself.
Having a great time. Welcome, Mr. Fukin Ward. Anyway, 30-year-old grannies, Brentford goal. Wait, what?
What, they pull back? Fucking hell.
Oh my God. Brian and Bremo in the 96th minute. I thought that game was over.
Oh, was it 4-3?
There's still time left. What's
the score? Is it 4-3 or 3-2?
7 minutes and there's a minute left.
What's the score? Is it? What's the score?
4-3 to Brentford.
4-3. Bloody hell.
Premier League classic, they'll say.
Ipswich. Bloody hell. Well, the Brighton game is over now, and they're pretty pissed off. They're not happy with losing that 2-goal lead, basically.
I believe the answer to the question you're all looking for is 12 Monkeys, because that is the TV show we're watching instead of watching Ipswich at Brentford.
Fair enough.
Anyway, Tom and I both had Wolves. Well played, mate. Yeah, so it is what it is. I still hope to finish last in the upset pick competition, though, because I'm working a lot of magic, mystique behind the scenes on like the Premier League. So I'm no mystique. Like basically, I'm trying to like finagle it with my bad luck.
Yeah, you're trying to jinx everyone.
Yeah. Who's gonna get jinxed next week? Some of you will.
Stay tuned.
Luton's ground is old-fashioned.
Oh, here he goes. It's Brownie and his fucking defence of everything old and traditional fucking agenda. No, Luton ground is shit. You have to literally go through someone's garden to get into the fucking ground.
They're building a new ground with the Premier League money, which is why they never bought anyone. They're actually building a 30,000 seater.
Yeah, they should do, because their stadium is a fucking embarrassment. There's a block. The one side of their ground's a fucking block of flats.
Tom, there's nothing special with that West Brom team. I know there's not, because we turned up there having lost our best players and they still tried to get a 0-0 draw.
I watched
Like
that. I watched that Leeds West Brom game, and West Brom did not look very good. Let's put it that way. I didn't think they looked very good at all.
Like, we went there, we were seriously wounded. We'd just been done 3-0 by Middlesbrough in the League Cup. Like, we were literally like the equivalent of football England's equivalent of wounded animal, and we turned up there and we got the 0-0 win we were looking for. Ultimately, they should have annihilated us that day, and they didn't even try, and that's why they suck, and that's why they deserve nothing in life. Their fans, they deserve to have a cold kebab tonight.
Cold kebab, yeah, that's the worst. That is terrible punishment.
You know when it goes cold and then like all the fat like congeals and like dries and stuff like that. Like, yeah, exactly. Like you need that fat to be hot and dripping.
Oof.
Not on yourself, but you know. Anyway, I am Sam. I am Sam. Don't know what any of that means. Mr. Slag, I've studied in microbiology. Turn you into a slug, Slag.
That's the best kind, I think.
It's a 1326 fortress, Sam. Garden allotment outhouses, doubling as executive boxes. Laugh out
Basically, you get when you're a VIP, you get a garden gnome together with your fucking ticket.
It's true. It's true.
Tom knows all about garden gnomes, don't you?
I do. I've got exclusive rights on them.
Yeah.
On my brethren, as we say in the hood.
Yeah.
So the full-time whistle's officially gone at the Brentford Community Stadium, and the hearts have been broken of the Switch fans. Yeah.
Oh,
but no, seriously, that's well contested. You've combined for your Premier League moment. One you lost, but still. But no.
Give us the final scores then.
Bournemouth equalised in 96th minute through Ivan Nilsson. So Aston Villa 1, Bournemouth 1.
Right, that's good.
Brentford 4, Ipswich 3. Wolves got a 2-2 draw at Brighton, and Manchester City ground out a 1-0 win at home to Southampton.
1-0 at home to Southampton. That's pathetic.
Southampton had 2 shots on target to Manchester City's 7, including 8 off target. So, yeah, went pretty much how we expected. But other than that, yeah, 1-0. So you can catch up their goal difference. In my country, in Yevdog, in more positive news, because we're eating one on New Year's Eve, is that the European westernized New Year's Eve, or is that the Chinese New Year's Eve?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you'd know, Fu. So,
good question.
Can I get one up the chinky up the road? Just seen that winning Brentford goal. The marking was piss poor. Their defending in the Championship was abysmal, so it doesn't surprise me that this is the case. Because they've gone out and bought a whole new forward line, but they've not improved their defence. So yeah, this is what's going to happen. And I say that as a man that actually had shit defending in the Premier League. Well, because you know, when you play Liam Cooper at centre back. Anyway, very disappointing, Brownlee. So yeah, that is it with the football. Let's quickly go through the Championship. Bristol City 0, Leeds 0. Coventry City 3, Luton 2. Watford 1, Blackburn 0. Burnley 0, Queen's Park Rangers 0. Derby 1, Hull 1. Plymouth Argyle 3, Preston North End 3. Sheffield United 2, Stoke 0. Sunderland 2, Oxford United 0. Swansea 0, Millwall 1. And West Bromwich Albion 0, Cardiff City 0. In the Scottish Methadone League,
yep.
Dundee United 1, St Johnstone 2. Ross County 2, Kilmarnock 1. Aberdeen play at Dundee United at 5:30. Mr. Fu has said we sneak them in past Interpol when we do come to United Empire of Kingdom, but it's very difficult it's easier to shop at Battersea.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. What's it called? Local sourced. Locally sourced produce.
But not too local, hopefully.
Yeah, you don't want the dog from down the street.
Yeah. No one ever really wants to know how the sauce is made, do they?
Nah, that's true. That's very true.
In La Liga 2, Cadiz are beating Real Oviedo 2-0 going into the 90th
Oh,
minute.
well, that's very good to know.
Yeah. Cannes, great movie festivals there down in Cannes. Lost 1-0 home to Troyes. Or as English people would say, Troyes.
Yes.
Paris FC are beating Grenoble. They did beat Grenoble anyway. So anyway, I'm gonna go to the kebab shop. Not kebab. I do fancy a kebab, but I also fancy my weekly Chinese, which I didn't have last week because I was ill. So I'm gonna walk in there and go.
We're gonna have something.
Oh, I can tell you exactly. It's gonna be special chow mein dry, which means I don't put a sauce on it because I want to put my own sauce on it. Not in that way. That's not PG.
I was just going to say, what was your special sauce? Is it, Tom?
I knew you enough to know what he's going to say as soon as I said that. You can't know Sam Greenwood without knowing what he's going to say to things you say. Anyway, we have prawn balls with sweet and sour prawn balls. Put the sweet and sour sauce on the chow mein. Probably also gonna have pork chow mein and put them on together because I like the Chinese style pork. It's the best pork.
Yeah, it's lovely. It is nice.
It is the best, but I don't know what they do to it. They must just extra mistreat the animals. I don't know. I don't condone that. In all seriousness,
the way they marinate the meat, you probably don't want to know what that is. Probably
exactly.
Yeah.
Again, don't want to know how the sauce is made.
No one wants to know how that's made. But talking about that, there's actually a famous story. It's actually a true story. There was in Oslo. Kebabs are very popular over here. We do kebabs very differently to the UK. But anyway, I don't want to go into the details of that. But anyway, there's a very popular kebab shop in Oslo going back into the 90s now. It was called the Kebab King. Basically, that was the name of it, like the translation of it. And they were huge. I mean, that's where basically everyone went. Well, yeah, a lot of people went. And all of a sudden, they were closed for a couple of days for health and safety. There was a health and safety violation. And they
that's always a good start to a story.
And they were closed for a couple of days. And what happened was, it's not. I don't think it's. I'm not sure it's been confirmed as actually being true. But rumor started to come. It went all over Oslo, went everywhere basically. That the reason they were closed for a health and safety violation was they did a random check because they check the sources sometimes to make sure that there's nothing stupid going on. And apparently the rumor was that there was sperm found in the fucking kebab sauce. And I'll tell you what, that shows you the power of a rumor.
Yes.
Because when that rumor came out, it killed them dead. When they opened up again, they just their business completely plummeted. I mean, there were still people going there who probably hadn't heard the rumor. They're probably the only few people who hadn't heard the rumor were still going.
They did want kebab sauce on the kebab,
and basically it wasn't enough to keep them going. Like a few months later, well, I think like about a year, within a year after that, they basically had to shut down. They went from the most popular kebab place in Norway, basically, to shutting down a year after that health and safety closure.
Well. Brownlee wants to know Everton 6-4 to win at home today. What do you think, Sam?
Well, I've got Everton to win that today, basically just because I thought it was the only team worth picking for our little competition we have within our Arsenal AFC, the Arsenal fan circle group. I think Everton might do that, but probably not because Everton are so fucking unpredictable, aren't they? They're pretty shite. So yeah, we never know. But yeah, I mean, 6-4. It's not really much money though, is it?
Brownie, what price is Fulham?
Yeah, I'll probably say Fulham's probably better.
I would go with Fulham, but if the price is good enough.
I mean, 6-4 is pretty shit, isn't it?
It's just below 2-1.
Yeah.
But obviously, put £4 on, you win tenner, including your £4 back. In fact, I'll do the maths on it right now. I believe you are it's 2.5, I think, to every pound you put on. But 6 plus 4 divided by 4. Yeah, 2.5 to every pound you put on. So you put £1 on, you get £2.50 back. Everton have goals in them. Well, yeah, Goodson Park does have goals in it.
Just not very well. They score 2 goals, but then they let in 4, don't they? That's what happens.
There is videos out now, include Man City react to win over whatever, but still. And naturally, Stefan does say draw. Everton versus Fulham, draw.
Yeah, could very well become a draw, 1-1 or 2-2, something like that. Yeah, good shout, really.
There you go. Well, we have between us then all picked every possibility, so one of them's got to be right.
Yeah, that's true. Someone's gone Fulham, someone's gone Everton. Yeah, it might be a draw. Stefan's gone for a draw. Yeah. It's basically a game no one's going to watch anyway. No one's going to fucking watch that game. Jesus Christ.
You know what? I would say because the prices are so close together, just do Everton because they're the home team.
Yeah.
And they've got the douchey fans that their fans have probably stood outside the Fulham team hotel all night letting off fireworks and farts or something because they're classless people, little scumbags. Could be. Anyway, El Clasico. Obviously, Rafinha scored first goal. What a man. What a man. That man got married at Leeds Town Hall. I'm just saying. Which has no bearing on his football. But still, there's still something to be said for a man that would get married at Leeds Town Hall. He scored a couple.
I think he scored a couple of goals for Barcelona midweek, didn't he, in the Champions League?
He scored a hat-trick against Bayern Munich in the Champions
League. It was a hat-trick, was it? Right, yeah. Right. Bayern Munich seem to be struggling a bit now, don't they? They don't seem to be as good as they used to be.
Well, they do have Harry Kane, though, don't they?
That's true. So wherever that guy goes,
Eric Dyer as well. They've got 2 Tottenham players in there to try and make it fairer for the rest of the Bundesliga.
I was just going to say, Harry Kane, he just seems to be a fucking jinx, doesn't he?
The thing is, he's got this really, I don't know what the word for it is, but he will manage to score 40 goals for Bayern Munich, and they will still manage to win nothing.
Yeah, true. Well, he did last season, didn't he? He scored 30 odd goals in the league, and they still fluffed it to Bayern Leverkusen, didn't they?
They finished 3rd. Yeah, they didn't even get to be in their own charity shield or whatever. But anyway, still, community shield. Sorry. Yeah, obviously not too far from going, obviously, due to obvious reasons, because football was finished. So, and obviously, I really should get off here a bit earlier than usual.
Yeah.
Got food for the family to sort out and stuff like that.
Hit it on the head now. Get going.
But no. Oh, fucking hell! Charlton scored in the 97th minute to get a 2-2 draw with Wrexham. I thought Wrexham had won that done and dusted.
Oh, that must be gutting for the Wrexham fans. Not that we care, but I'm just saying that's a horrible way to get a draw on it.
Well, yeah, because I've also been the away team being 2-1 up in the 97th minute and then not winning the game.
Yeah.
Because
we remember
Sunderland.
We remember that. That was a freaky goal.
Yeah. But yeah, but other than that, no such excitement today at Bristol. Did he go there before Harry Kane was there? Because if it was after, then it's because Harry wanted a mate.
I think Eric was. Yeah, I think Eric. Yeah, Eric went first. I think Eric was definitely. I'm 90% sure. Dyer went
scout
first.
The location for him. Did he scout it out? Go, Harry. No one will recognise you here. You can go and get your own. I believe it's on Sky Sports, Brownie. I could be wrong. The 5:30 kickoff in England, I believe, is a Sky Sports slot.
Yeah, probably is.
I don't think I am.
Most likely.
Kane went first.
Did he? I thought Dyer went first.
Well, that explains it because they wanted Harry. They gave someone him a mate who spoke English, I imagine.
Yeah. Oh, Dyer is so mediocre. I can't believe Bayern Munich got him because he is very mediocre. Yeah.
Yeah, but there he's like, oh, what would you call him? Paolo Maldini there, I imagine.
Good old Paolo Maldini, what a player he was. Wow. That's fucking royalty right there.
Stefan giving away his taste in women, both as thick as each other.
Yeah, I mean, Harry Kane's he's as smart as a fucking brick, isn't he?
Hey, that's insulting the bricks. That would destroy him.
True. It is insulting to bricks.
Dyer went on loan to begin with.
That reminds me of a Irish joke I was told when I was a kid. Have you heard about the Irish bookworm? It was found dead in a brick. Do you get it, Tom, or is it too advanced for you, that one?
I do get it. It's because the Irish are thick, obviously. That's the real crux of the joke. But
I love the Irish terrorist one though. Heard about the Irish terrorist who blew up a car.
I've not heard about the Irish terrorist who blew up a car.
He burnt his lips on the exhaust.
Wow.
That's
Imagine a whole week without Michael Jackson infiltrating the show.
That's quite. Oh, don't start now. It's too late. Don't start now.
We'll bring him back when Gary's back.
Yeah, we got to see the reaction from Gary. That's half of the fun.
That's all the fun.
Yeah.
But no, Gary will be back next week, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we hope he's back.
I mean, I did feel kind of bad for him because Gary did write a thing of like, oh, I do have to do X, Y, Z with my family and that. And then Sam just immediately responded with, that's all right, Tom can handle it. I was just like, oh, yeah, I love it when people make other people hate me based on me existing. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, thank you. But no, in all seriousness, appreciate it. Where is Michael Jackson? Where is I don't know.
Well, he's buried somewhere, obviously, isn't he? Buried somewhere.
Buried in bubbles, probably.
Oh my god. You complain about me with the fucking granny stuff, and Jesus Christ.
I should have thought that through before I said it. But I thought, no, yep, say it, yep, that's good. It's good. I've never complained about the granny stuff. The Gary stuff. Gary and the grannies.
Gary and the grannies. Is that a new album coming next year?
If it's not, it should be. With Gary's all-time hit, number one hit, that team can go fuck itself.
Yeah, exactly.
That team. Gary will be fuming.
You know what they say, the cat's away, the mice come out to play.
Yeah. But no, in all seriousness, Gary, no. Hey, we personally appreciate having Gary here to play referee.
Yeah. It's
true. The leader of the gang, as in Gary Glitter. Sorry, what?
Gary Glitter, that's another leader we definitely don't want to
Come on. Sorry, is that how it goes? I don't know. What? Sorry. Sorry, what?
Yeah.
They came out of Spice World, if I remember rightly. The Spice Girls movie.
I think so, yeah.
They shouldn't have asked him to be in the first place.
Bloody hell. Crikey.
I can't believe Roger Moore turned up in that. Stay tuned next week for a review of Spice World, the movie.
I never bothered watching that, and I don't think I'm ever going to.
You should. You absolutely should. One of my favourite bits in it is when Michael Barrymore turns up in yet another. This is going to age like milk.
Was there a swimming pool in it?
That's somewhere to pour the milk.
Somewhere to pour the milk.
That might have been where Mr. Lubbock was found face down with his arse in it. Anyway, what?
Yeah.
Anyway. Don't Google Stuart Lubbock. Just don't. The American election is coming up.
Yeah, 5th of November.
That's certainly something that's going to be...
That's actually Guy Fawkes Night, isn't it? Guy Fawkes Night is the 5th of November, isn't it? Same day as the...
Yeah, well, I don't think it means anything to them.
What?
I don't think it means anything to them.
No, it doesn't mean anything to them. I was just saying it's same day this year. I mean, this time, this round.
Good old America. And God save China. Thank you for the show, guys.
You're welcome, Mr. King. Yes.
Thanks. Make a wish.
Yes.
Anyway. So, thank you, guys. Sam Green, is there anything you want to say to your fans?
No, not really. No, just thanks as always. Everyone showing up, we appreciate it. Have a bit of a laugh. Enjoy you taking part, interacting with us. Helps make the show. I hope you enjoy the road trip where we sort of mix a little bit of football with everything else, and it's basically Soccer Saturday on crack. We have a good laugh as always. Thanks, Tom, for having us on again. As always, been good fun, and hope Arsenal win tomorrow. It's going to be a tough game with our decimated defence. Basically, it's going to be a struggle, but hopefully we can do it. Show them who's boss.
Before we go, one more thing, Sam. I'm sorry because you have not done it for a long time. Can you do your Donald Trump impression? And you modify it to his shift at McDonald's. It's my favourite Sam impression, personally. It's my favourite one. I've not done it for a long time. It's genuinely my favourite one.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to McDonald's. It's the best. McDonald's is the best. Jared told me it's the best. Ivanka didn't like it. I raped her. She's dead. But I'm frying the fries. Chicken nuggets. We don't like chicken nuggets, but Jared told me the chicken nuggets, but they're the best. I went to the best McDonald's in the world, just the best. And Kamala, she's never been to McDonald's. She says she's worked at McDonald's. She's never worked there. She's an ugly bitch. But then, Jared told me, but Gary's not here. He worked at McDonald's 3 times. They had to fire him. He was pissing in the McNuggets. But anyway, Jared Kushner told me the McDonald's is just the best. Okay, just the best, and the best for everything. And I worked there for 3 days. I made $7, much more than I made as president of the USA. And I just know it's the best. And Biden, he made McDonald's, but we hate him. We don't like that. Anyway, as we know, McDonald's is just the best. Everybody, it's just the best. And we wish everybody a good night. Don't go to McDonald's. The food's horrible, but it's great anyway. Just Jared Kushner just told me. Actually, Ivanka, I know she's dead. Ivanka. No, Ivana's dead. I don't know. I can't tell people from each other. But anyway, it's just the best. Thank you very much, Tom. You're the best. Jared told me you're the best. And thank you very much, everybody. Have a great evening.
And on that note, I'll say goodnight. And remember...
Life is a journey. Don't waste your trip.